Man, still, even now can't even do it right. Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this, the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. This is episode 66, and we are live on a Sunday evening back here in the studio. We did not get scared out of our minds. We didn't get taken over. We didn't fall ill due to asbestos or eat lead paint. And everything went well last night. We had a really good night. Towards the end of this episode, I might get a chance to show you some pictures that either I took last night or Audie took. Kind of interesting look at what we walked through and watched and witnessed last night. Kind of an interesting evening. Definitely a fun historical look at just the building, and if you like kind of old things and looking at. I'm somebody that I always said that I wanted to create a calendar that would hang up on the wall, and it would like go through the different months, and it would be called the Chris Roads of America. And it would take different pictures of like abandoned houses and when you're driving way out in the country and you drive by that house, it's been there for 30 years and it's been empty for the entire 30 years you've been alive, and probably the 30 years before that your dad was alive, whatever. I've always been interested in those things, and sometimes I will go down the rabbit hole of finding those channels on YouTube and taking a look at going in those channels and taking a look. Speaking of YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, if you could do those things right here, hit the thumb, subscribe if you haven't. Above all else, most importantly, please share the show with everyone you know. We would absolutely love that. Of course, you guys know that we are a very interactive show, and if you're watching live, please comment in the live chat box, and then if you're watching on repeat, comment in the comment section down below. So, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's 66th episode is kind of like a reunion of sorts. The Political Spotlight candidate interview 18. This is the 18th interview this series. And my guest that I'm interviewing tonight, you guys might know him, maybe. I'm not really sure if you do or not. His name is Joshua Civic Duty Kimbrell, the Democratic candidate for Winchester City Council at large and in charge. You know him as Civic Duty. He's got a channel here on Yar YouTube. This episode is called episode 66, A Side of Bastards. I stole the title and the picture, and edited Brandon out a little bit and pushed him over the side because I couldn't get rid of all of his jacket. Brandon was tied up. I told Brandon he should have popped on with us, but he was a little tied up doing something for work, I think. But yeah, hey, look, Amanda and Jeff are here, the power couple from Henry County. Sometime in the middle of this week, maybe Wednesday or Thursday, I'm looking to have some big news from Henry County. I know it's going to be a few days away still, but for those of you that are here from the Newcastle, Henry County area, we will be having some big news, hopefully this Wednesday. But without further ado, I feel like it's probably a good time to bring our guest on, Mr. Joshua Kimbrell. Hello? Are you muted?
Yeah, I was muted. What's up?
What's up? What's going on, man?
Not much. I just noticed something.
Yeah?
When you're a guest in the chat or in the show, you can't see the chat over there.
You can't?
Mm-mm.
So see, when we tell people like, hey, don't worry about the chat, they're like, what are you talking about then? They're thinking about our private chat.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Josh's mom's here. Hello, Susan. Eric Lewis is here.
When you're a guest, go down to the 3 dots down at the bottom.
Yeah.
It'll say comment. I think that pops open the
Oh, will it?
Yeah.
The 3 dots at the bottom where?
Down by private chat.
I don't have none of that. It's just a blank screen with a chat. And if I chat, it says there. Is that the private chat?
That's the private chat.
Yeah, I have no other options.
Okay.
Ding.
Sorry.
Okay, well, we'll have to put up all of the interesting.
Now we both know.
Now we all know. Yeah, I did not know that. That's crazy. I've been telling our people forever. I've always said, yeah, don't worry about those people over there. We'll put up the important stuff. So if somebody's really giving you the business, we'll make sure to let you see it. Jeff and here, Jeff makes it his job to get blocked. Yeah, I've not blocked Jeff. I actually had an idiot. Literally, let me find this comment here real quick. Someone sent me this. Of course, I keep in mind this man posted this. This man literally posted this in a group that I am blocked from. So,
the power couple one?
No, not that one. No, I can't see that. There's this group in Muncie called the political. Okay, here it is. It's called the Political Project Uncensored. And they swear that they are the most uncensored political page going in East Central Indiana. Except if you don't kiss the ass of Dan Ridenhour, they block you. If your name is Kristopher Bilbrey, if you know Kristopher Bilbrey, if you're anywhere loosely connected.
The thing that I have a problem with is it's called uncensored, and you're blocked from it.
I got blocked in the first 15 minutes. That's like that page that you went to that one time and you shared a link that someone else had already shared them. And they
same post.
I
screenshotted his post and said, well, what about this or something like that in his own words. And
you got blocked. So this says, and this is from the always amazing Mike Jones. If you have noticed, most of what Webb and his mentor, Kristopher Bilbrey, post on any of their pages, first of all, I would not call me Ryan Webb's mentor. Like, that's ridiculous. Ryan Webb is his own character out here in the world. We don't really even know each other. Like, I love that they've got this. I think that they've got like fan art of like Ryan and I like kissing and things like that. Mike Jones
think you guys eat dinner 3 times a week.
Yeah, right. Like we were like planning crap.
Like, hey, who can we piss off this evening, man?
Right. He says, if you noticed on most of their pages, there isn't an opportunity to comment. What? It's obvious that they cannot withstand the numerous people who want to comment on their outrageous statements. Keep in mind, even though you post on the pages they help administer, each determine who can see your post. Despicable and cowardly. To me, it demonstrates that they are close-minded, weak, and are failing in whatever they are trying to accomplish. And what I love about this is this fool literally posts this in a page that I can't see, that unless there was people who would send it to me, I would have no idea about. And so they're the people that are drinking up their Kool-Aid are like, yeah, look, he's not here defending himself. And they're all like, yeah, and I'm like, well, first of all, I can't be. Second of all, I don't block anybody. We block nobody. I've never blocked anybody except for like the scam bots and nonsense like that. My Facebook page is wide open. It always has been. People can access my social media who don't even have social media.
I don't even know how to block somebody. It'd take me. I'd probably have to YouTube how to block somebody.
Right. Yeah, that's not something you do. That's not something that Ryan Webb does. And I'm not saying that because like we talk about it. I just know the people that are on there saying horrible shit about him from time to time. And I'm not saying it's deserved or not deserved. I'm just saying I don't think he blocks people. He might. I don't know, but we've never discussed it. And I don't block anybody here. And I think that's here. But here, I want to say this because this is part of the interview. People's like, why are you, this is not part of your interview? But listen to this. Keep in mind that Ryan Webb is a counselor, okay? Now, this is what I wanted to say, and this is what kills me. Shireen Wagley says Webb is actually really smart and has very conservative values. Fortunately, due to his outlandish behavior, people will not take him seriously on either side. Bilbrey could have had a valuable podcast career in the beginning, but his equally outlandish behavior has ended any possibility of that. He believes he is relevant, however, but most people don't even know who he is. But they spend so much time trying to convince people of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is what kills me. Barb Lambert, this woman is like in her 70s. She writes this. Amber Green, Ryan tries to one-up everyone. Notice how he has a comment or a question on every issue that gets brought up before the council in council meetings. He wants all the camera time on him. No, he's doing his damn job.
Would she like watch Winchester meetings for like her example?
Yeah, right. This woman is like, oh, this meeting's not being over in 20 minutes. That Ryan Webb, he's a narcissistic camera hog.
Like he wanted clarification? Oh my God.
Yeah. He's like, wait a minute. Could you read that resolution by title at least? And they're like, no, we just want you to have the numbers. And she's like, what an asshole Ryan is. You know? So I've wanted to make a post on this several times today, but I just never got around to it because that's just so disgusting to me that people actually believe that kind of thing. So the reason we're here is because you, besides doing the whole YouTube thing and besides everything else that you're doing and feeding homeless and the poor and the people who just want to come in and eat, and the rich and anybody, just you're making a community meal a couple times a month and doing that thing and fighting with political officials. You're also running for office in Winchester.
Absolutely.
So why don't you listen? Everybody knows the backstory about like you having a daughter, that got this, but I'm sure that there might be some people who don't know other stuff about you. So
I want to separate those two.
Yeah. Okay.
That situation led up to where I am now. Like the problem with the government, they're not one and the same. I mean, it helped, but about me, I mean, I grew up in Ohio, Toledo, projects, welfare, all that good stuff. Public schools at the lowest rate you could have. People make fun of me for not being able to spell. I don't care. Spelling, in my opinion, spelling don't mean nothing. I was good at math and science. I moved from Toledo schools that were bad and went to Bellevue schools because I'm sure everybody's heard it in my videos. You just got outsmarted by a guy with a GED and he went to school and passed the bar. Well, that GED, I'm proud of that because when I moved from Toledo schools, into my junior year to my senior year, we moved to Bellevue, and the school system up there was so much better than Toledo's that they wouldn't accept the credits. So when I left Toledo, I had 16 out of 18 credits to graduate. I only needed 2 more credits and I was done. When I got to Bellevue, it was 25 credits and none carried over my senior year.
I remember we were standing in a Wendy's in Muncie when you first told me that, and that did not make sense. I could not believe that. That shocked me to death. So,
I even had to take what were they the proficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
they didn't accept Toledo's proficiencies. I had to take those over again. And when I took them and passed them, they were like, now let's try to fast track you. And they're like, well, we can have you a diploma in your hand in 2.5 years. And I was like, I'll be 20.5 years old. Like,
yeah, you were a senior. You were a senior, and they were saying we can fast track you, and we will have a diploma in your hand in 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And to an 18-year-old dude, that's like a cancer diagnosis or something.
Right. So I just went and I took my GED. I mean, I took my GED basically before I even dropped out. Taking the GED and passing it kind of forced me to drop out.
Oh yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But then after that, I went to school at Owens Community College for political science for I think a year and a half. I didn't know
that. Okay.
I took some of my basics and all that stuff, and then life hit, and I'll be back. I'll do this again. I'll pick it up later, and you know how that goes.
Yeah. Right. Sure. Absolutely.
I'm still waiting to fill out my paperwork next month. I put that done.
Oh, that's good. I like it. So that's amazing. So, okay. And you've lived in Winchester, because see, this is something I didn't know when you and I first met. I thought you were new to Winchester. Hell, you lived in Winchester when I was there.
Yeah.
So you've lived in Winchester for 7 or 8 years?
9 years now.
9 years now.
9 years.
Okay. So you've been there a good while. You're not the 7th generation. You don't have eight great family members out at Fountain Park, but yeah, thank God.
Yeah, I mean, I see what happens to those who are given everything in life. I'm glad I had a struggle.
Right. It does give you a sense of
worth,
character, and worth, and you understand the value of things a little bit more, maybe.
Like I was talking with Bridget the other day, and we were talking about powdered milk.
Yeah.
And then I realized there's a lot of people out there who never had powdered milk or had to have powdered milk in their life, and it shows.
No, I am not a fan of any kind of milk, liquid milk, powdered milk, milk from nothing. I do not want milk.
Unless it's frozen into a cream that's halfway baked.
It's half baked. It's hilarious. I got in trouble in 3rd grade, Mrs. Rowland's class, for trying to forge a letter from my mother telling her that I was lactose intolerant and needed to drink water at lunch because I could not deal with milk. I could not deal with it. And I got in trouble. And when I came home, my dad was like, why did you do this? And I was like, I cannot drink milk. And he was like, why didn't you just tell one of us? I was like, I don't know. And so they were like, wrote a letter and said, he doesn't need to drink milk anymore. Get him water. And I've been a water drinker ever since.
Did you ever try the powdered milk?
Listen, so this is the other thing. My ex-wife was is a nurse, and she has had some patients, and she went to the food giveaway things that they do.
Yeah.
And she went to line within the food pantry for them one day because their car broke down. And she went and she gave them the stuff, and she left forgot one of the boxes in the back of the car. And she came home, and I was like, what's this? And she was like, oh, I forgot to give that to so-and-so. And I was like, oh, that's cool. What is this? I was like, what's this stuff? And she's like, it's powdered milk. And I was like, in all honesty, I did not know what that was. And I was like, what? And she was like, yeah. And so we took one of them in, and I was not a fan of milk beforehand, and I was not a milk fan afterwards. And so, no, I have done it once and no more.
See, now that you say you don't like milk or you can't tolerate milk, I guess you might be the closest person who's ever done this, but you ever had to put water on your cereal?
I hope my mom is watching this right now. Yeah, we've done some stuff like that. This is
the sad thing is you chose the water over the milk.
Right.
Probably.
Well, no, it wasn't water. It was Mountain Dew on Frosted Flakes.
I bet you it was kind of
it wasn't as bad as what I think. I mean, it wasn't good, but squirrel. But it was it wasn't good either. But yeah, I know. Yeah, I can imagine. I can imagine.
Now everybody that's out there like, ill water on zero, hear me out, man. You wake up, you're like, man, I got enough time for school today. I woke up, my clothes are like in the dryer, ready to go. I got time to sit down and watch me some TV and eat some cereal. You get the bowl of cereal, you pour it, you're all excited. You open that fridge and there's no milk in the damn fridge.
Yeah.
You open the cover, there's no powdered milk up in the cover for backup. You're like, just a little bit of water, man, just to. And you always sitting there on the couch, like the first 2 bites, you're like, oh, okay, I can do this. 3rd, 4th bite. Oh, yeah, Kool-Aid and no sugar.
Yeah. I didn't know they made Kool-Aid that had sugar in it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they made that at one point. That was a thing. So
they still make it. We get it for the kids. Like you can just it's a big container now, and you just get it and
you mix it in with no sugar, and it's pre-made. I didn't know they made that. So I remember the first time I found that out, I was like, whoa.
Well, don't tell my kids that already has sugar in it because they still add sugar.
That's crazy.
The pre-made Kool-Aid that already is half Kool-Aid, half sugar.
God, how much more sugar do they put in it?
Dude, they'd be putting sugar on like Frosted Flakes.
God. Oh man, I think I would have tried coffee creamer. I don't like coffee creamer either. That's the thing. I probably am lactose intolerant. I think it makes me sick. I've just never been diagnosed that. But
you know what's funny? I got a quick funny story. I know it's off subject, but this
fine.
shit's funny. Every time I hear that lactose intolerant, my mom will probably enjoy this one. So my mom used to babysit. And she had these 3 little boys that she babysat, and it was after school, and we were sitting there, and the kid said he wants a snack, and my mom's like, "You want some toast?" And she said, she said, "You want some milk and everything?" And he's like, "I don't like milk." She said, "Why, are you lactose intolerant?" And he looked at her and said, "No, I like toast." I probably messed that all up, but yeah, she asked him if he wanted milk. He said no, he didn't like milk. She asked him if he was lactose intolerant.
Yeah, I get it.
And he said, "No, I like toast." I just remember that he was like 3, but it was the funniest thing ever.
Right? That's she laughed down here. She put LOL. Oh, that's good.
So every time I hear somebody say lactose, I just think of that.
Brandon.
The boss hogs of poverty.
Still talking about food. See how it works? It's always that way. So okay, well, now that we've laughed about some harder times in life, you're now in Winchester, and you've got a family of your own. There, you've got you and your wife and some kids running around there. One like when I first met you, I was like, I think he's got like 2 or he's got like 7 kids.
And they
I don't
just
really
keep
know.
Popping up out the woodwork.
And I just don't know. And they all look alike, basically. I know you got one boy, and then the rest of them are intermixed. I don't know. I cannot tell the daughters apart. They're all about the same.
You think it's hard on us, man? You guys should see my fridge, my poor fridge.
Right. Yeah, and they're all good kids that, they're in sports and doing different things, and of course they act like kids and being kids, but you guys are I would call you a normal Winchester family. You know what I mean? You're not like you're not living out on the golf course, but you're not, in the low end. You guys are a normal Winchester family, and you have realized that there is a problem in Winchester.
Yeah.
And so when did you decide hardcore you wanted to run for something?
I want to say the moment was Oh God, it was at a council meeting. I can't remember exactly which one, but it was like I want to say it was the December meeting.
Okay.
Our January 6th meeting. I
Yeah.
think after that meeting happened and I saw the turnout of people, because when you're when you're sitting there and you're fighting this kind of stuff, you feel like people are saying they support you. But when
Yeah.
you actually see people standing behind you, and like I think that meeting right there was my epiphany. Like it was all what? Who? Josh Giese. Oh yeah. That's when I said it, but seriously, all right. So when all this started, and me and Josh Giese, Sheriff Deputy Giese, were talking on the phone, he got shitty with me, and I told him to keep that same kind of energy. That was my first
Oh,
video
I
of
remember
Civic
that.
Duty.
Yeah,
I told
yeah.
him, and I started getting dressed, and my wife said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I guess I'm starting my political career." But it was more of a just getting in their face type political adversary, not really technically wanting to run for office. But that meeting, though, that was the meeting when I stood up and I was like, "Can I get another minute?" And everyone's like, "He can have my time. He can have my time." And I was like, then watching it back, and I was like, you know what? We could probably make a really good change. We got people in motion. People really want to do this. Like, let's go. Let's go 100%.
Sure. Sure. So, man, I remember that. I remember being there in December, and I've been through weird meetings. I've been through really weird meetings, and been through contentious meetings. I've been through meetings where like I thought like people were really going to start like throwing punches. I've been through meetings where people are like cussing and carrying on. I've been through meetings where the people got up and like left. I was at a Muncie meeting where there were 1,200 people at that meeting, and like I feel like you could be like smashed at any point. But
somebody's getting stepped on, literally.
Yeah, right. But that meeting that occurred in Winchester on December, it wasn't like violent. No one was out of control, but it was just such a gross. It was a show because the people in the audience were mad. The people in the audience were voicing their opinions and were kind of carrying on. But like it was like you could tell right away that the council members and the mayor and the people up there, they just didn't care. Straight off the get-go, they were shutting it down. They were ready to leave, and it didn't matter. And I think that was the meeting. I think that was the meeting where Lisa decided she was done with it all. Because I think the meeting after that's the meeting where she told you said, "Keep it up. We'll do this every time." And she said, "No, we won't."
Yeah.
Or she was like, "This will not happen every time." And you said, "Ain't
it funny? The same meeting that made me say, you know what, I'm 100% running. I'm 100% going all in is the same meeting where she says, "I'm fucking done. I'm moving to Montana.
Yeah, right.
I am gone."
Yeah, wide open spaces. Here I come. I really do think that. I really do think that was the meeting that broke her down. Matter of fact, when we had a show at one point several months ago, and we believe her significant other at the time, or maybe now, came on and was talking to us, that was the meeting that he talked about in the comment section. About
she probably went home and beat him. She probably she's like, you know what the hell does that man think he's doing? Like, my man, shut up, Phil, or whatever his name is. It was like, I didn't do nothing.
Right. So one of the commenters up here have asked what's one thing that you would like to okay, and I would like to ask this not from something that we normally talk about, maybe something different. What is one thing that you would like to accomplish if you win, when you win for say you're in there for a 4-year period? What is something that you would like to accomplish in Winchester?
Something I have in mind. Now, hear me out.
Okay.
The way government treats tax dollars, not just in Winchester, everywhere kills me. I always use a scenario when I talk about it. So this is the budget. This cup right here is the budget. Our tax dollars are the liquid that goes in the budget. They take this and pay for the police, the fire, the roads, everything they need to, the salary, and they spread it out. Now the cup's empty. And next time for the budget, they're like, please, citizens, fill us up again. Well, also in this cup here is the loans and other stuff they give out. And it kills me because they always do this forgivable loans. And they're spending all this money tearing houses down. So a program I would really want to implement would be like a housing program here in Winchester. Now, hear me out. I know some people are going to be like, what the hell? But I would like to see these worn down houses, these old houses, these houses that aren't being, lived in. They're abandoned. Landlords are just sitting on. I'd like to see the government invest. I know it's a hard word for them. They only like the word spin, but I'd like to see them invest in this property. Say they buy the property for 10 grand. They spend 20,000 putting it in there. Now they take that property that's government owned, they fix it up. Instead of just saying, hey, let's put it on the market for the highest bidder or whatnot, I'd like to see them enter into a program where they take that house and they sell it to a first-time homeowner, a young couple like that. And instead of adding all this interest like that, like a bank would, just get back what the hell we put into it. So that 30,000 we took out this cup, instead of just pouring it out here and forgivable loans after 3-4 years, work out a deal for 10 years with this couple to pay for that house. That way, every year, something's coming right back into the cup. You're asking the citizens for a little bit less every time. And you're increasing the tax rate because you're putting people in homes that are there. Now those people will need to get jobs. They will be back there. They will be spending in the city, the community, the grocery stores, and the money's coming back in. And it's more than just a little investment. It's a huge investment into the city. And I would love to see one of those programs put in place in my 4 years.
We need 3 of you. We need 3 council people.
Have you met me?
On that, no.
Shut up, Jim. Vote yes.
Yeah, right.
Boyd, I said yes.
Right. Yeah, right.
Like, I know you didn't see it, Bob, but Bear nodded yes.
Yes. We need 1, 2, or 3. We need 3 yes votes, but that's very doable. That is very doable.
I just don't understand how it hasn't been done like that.
What?
Yeah. I just don't understand how they don't do that.
Because that's not the plan of Winchester. That's not the plan of Winchester. The plan of Winchester is tear them down, beautify the town, make everything not make the golf course like a subdivision of Winchester. Make Winchester a subdivision or suburb of the golf course. And make all homes out through here $300 homes. Get rid of all the people that don't belong.
They want one traffic light, and they want it to be blinking yellow. That's what they want for Winchester.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's very true. And I really believe that even if Winchester has, if one of you council people win, we should be able to push a plan like this through, because one of you should be able to push the idea forward. If you win and no one else does, we should be able to push this forward and beat this plan through. If Eric wins or if Joan wins or whatever the deal is, we should be able to hopefully push this through. That would be one of the biggest changes of Winchester forever. Now, my hope is that all of you win. My hope is that Niles is the mayor and you're at large, and Coy is one, and
if all of us, I honestly sincerely believe if all of us win, we could make Winchester, we could set it on a path like, it doesn't matter what the rest of Indiana's doing, Winchester is booming. Like, you know what I mean?
It would definitely be a pivotal change in Winchester. It would definitely be, hello, Wanda. It would definitely be a pivotal change in Winchester. 100%. And you're exactly, and in qualified immunity, I'm going to say this, not just Josh, but I'm going to say specifically 2 seats. If Josh doesn't win, it's a bad day. But if whatever happens in 4, if Joan or Lydia, either one of them are not able to pull off what needs to happen in District 4, Winchester gets exactly what it deserves. And I hope all my friends figure out a way to move out of Winchester and they let the place burn, because that's a really horrible thing. And I love that you're running at large. I almost wish that you were running District 4, because I'd like to see you specifically just up against Lisa. You know what I mean? I think that would have been a great.
Here's the thing: like from the get, it didn't matter where I was running, because in my opinion, I was running against them all.
You're running against everybody.
Yeah, I told everybody that's running in office, like I support you guys. I truly do. I'm glad that you guys came and backed me and stood up for me. But in my campaign, I'm going after them all.
Yeah.
Like if I win city at large and we lose District 2 or we lose District 3 or we lose them all, I take that as a loss.
Yeah.
I lost.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. So what do you what do you think is going to, your prediction is, what do you think was going to happen with this deal with Lisa?
They're going to try to play games. The sad thing is, like, this is what makes me sick the most, is the games they try to play, the laws they try to bend and step over, step under, crawl through. They do it, but how openly they do it makes me, that's what gets me mad.
Yeah.
And it just seems like not enough people are getting as angry. And why does it matter? Like, if your government's willing to break the law like this to steal an election, I mean, this is blatantly stealing the election.
Oh, absolutely.
Here's the rules. The rules are broken.
Yeah.
She cannot run.
Yeah.
Mindy Peed and Ben Wells are on the election board.
Yeah.
They should be the ones raising this issue, not us.
Yeah.
But say this was a Democrat or a Libertarian, say the roles were reversed, they would have been the first ones to play these political games and try to have them removed.
Listen to me. When I'm going to come back and I'll remind me about when I moved. Remind me about when I moved if I don't remember. Number one, when you did a video here recently where you went up to City Hall and that went up, and I called Kate, producer Kate, who's actually doing the lawsuit, and I was like, hey, did you know Josh went up there? And she didn't know you'd went up there, and you'd went up there. I mean, it's a public document. You went up there on your own asking these questions. They were legitimate questions. They were good questions. And you could tell that she was. Now, first of all, listen, if you are in a legal situation, she didn't do anything that any attorney wouldn't advise you to do. You know, I have no comment. I'm in a legal da-da-da-da. But your points were valid. Every one of your points were valid, and everything that you're saying is absolutely valid, is 100%, 100% to it, 1000%. You were great with all of that. And they would have thrown everything at you that they could have. They would have thrown anything at a Republican, or excuse me, a Democrat, or someone running like this as a Republican against one of them. They would have done that.
They had an option, and it's like the first person they screwed over was not Lydia or Joan or the citizens. The first person they screwed over with this was Rick Sanders.
It was Rick Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
Because he ran against Lisa.
And when was the primary? May?
Yeah.
she was already gone at that point. Everybody knew. I mean, she sold her business. Like, because we heard rumor about it. Remember that in the rumors? Oh, because this was the first rumor I heard. I heard Lisa is leaving her husband, taking a new job, selling her business, and going to it wasn't Montana. It was like Arizona or something like that. And I was like, yeah, that's funny. And this was like early February.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Lisa started selling her business, emptying it out, closed it down. And then I got a phone call and someone's like, there's a U-Haul in front of Lisa's house right now. So we drove by and took a picture.
Yeah.
And then she was gone. Husband was still here, but she was gone. And I was like, she moved to Arizona? No. She's in Montana.
Yeah.
She's still gone? Like,
yeah, right.
Everybody knew it. Like, it's common knowledge. Like, there's even citizens that come in and go, oh, Lisa really did move, didn't she?
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely.
And I did ask Carrie about that. I think it was when I was up there with Eric at City Hall. And Carrie said Lisa still cashes her checks.
Yeah.
And every meeting that Lisa has missed, Carrie has her package still. Lisa's never picked them up.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's what blows my mind with what Lisa did on the 16th. Okay. Lisa leaves. That's gross. It's disgusting. She should be ashamed of herself. Okay, that's fine. She had a duty to the citizens that voted for her, to the city of Winchester, to the citizens that didn't vote for her. She was an elected official. She had a duty to be there until the 31st of December at 11:59 p.m. Okay. That's when her duty ended, if she so wanted to, but she decided to run for re-election. Now we find out Lisa's also cashing these checks. Okay. Because maybe she could have left and she's still considered a counselor, but she's not taking the money. That would be one thing. She's still taking the money and using it, paying bills with it. Okay, that's a whole nother level of nasty. Then the crazy ass comes back to party it up in Mardi Gras with the people out there while the Republicans...
I pissed her off so bad during Mardi Gras. That was so funny. I'm out there passing out candy. And keep in mind, I haven't seen Lisa since February.
Yeah.
I'm passing out candy in the parade. I'm like, here you go, little kids. I go up and I put some candy in these little kids' bag. And I look up and there's Lisa. And I was like, holy shit, you're still alive. It's so good to see you. And she just like rolled her eyes in her hair.
Yeah, right. They're connected. Well... So, okay, she comes back to Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras is a fun thing. I like it. It is cool what it is. The Republicans are passing out campaign literature for her. That's gross, whatever. But then she goes to a meeting.
Oh, yeah. When I saw her Jeep pull in, everybody got quiet, and we're like, oh, my God, I can't believe she had the balls. Like, it wasn't, you know what I mean? It wasn't shocked that she was there. We couldn't believe she had the balls and the audacity to walk in there. That's like a husband saying, hey, honey, I'll be right back. I'm going to run to the store and grab some milk. Oh, we got this powdered milk shit. And then like 6 years walk back in like, hey, babe, how's it going? What's for dinner?
He's got a loaf of bread.
What's for dinner?
Right. You wouldn't believe that. I got to wait for my cigarettes.
Yeah.
So that was going on, but then on what's worse than all of that, and that's something that Kate's brought up, is she voted on matters before it. She could have just come and said, I abstain. She voted on stuff like she knew
and caused controversy with it. Like she started passing notes to Tom saying we can't give them the 40,000, like we had to give them 20,000. So she claims that's what it says, and she's like, I said all that in the meeting. Like, no, you committed an open door violation. You're passing notes like what's going on? Did you forget? Like, did you forget how council worked?
Yeah, right.
Like, it's been gone she's been gone. She's been gone so long. She just forgot the playbook, how it's supposed to go down.
Yeah. No, it seems like to me she remembered it quite well. Seems like to me she did everything that she could have done. So the thing there then is, I mean, that's, to me, that's what you're fighting against. That's what you're running against. It don't matter. She's not the at-large counselor. The at-large counselor is probably the best one of them.
Yeah, and I was sad to see Tom Sells go. When Tom Sells said that he wasn't going to run again, that's when I decided for at-large.
Yeah.
Because if Tom was running, I'm sorry, Joan, Lydia, we would have had, you know, some competition there or something like that. Because I don't think I would have ran against Tom. He was the only one. I mean, I wish he would have had more. I don't want to say balls, but balls.
No, that's exactly the way I wish.
Because he showed a little.
Yeah.
Some meetings and stuff, like with the rules. He voted no on the rules. Then I found out later he's the one who helped author the rules. Like, that's the kind of stuff that bothered me. He voted no, so he voted no, but the rule still passed that he wrote.
Yeah. Someone asked up here, and this is a good question. I know what my thought is on that, but are you concerned of JD Prescott's money and influence with Winchester voters to slander you?
I mean, slander away. I don't care. Spend all your money. I mean, it's taxpayer money anyways. Go ahead. Like, I'll tell you this much, JD, you should be happy you got that money because that's all you got, buddy.
Yeah,
that's
right.
it.
Yeah.
Like, completely. You have nothing else. Like, you could have all the money in the world and doesn't mean shit. Like, I can still defeat you. And I'll tell you that much, that primary might be coming up sooner than you think, buddy. You're only there for 2 years.
Yeah, right. Every time he turns around, he's running a primary.
Well, I mean, because I hear you talk to the other candidates and you're like, so you're not trying to do this lifetime. You're not trying to get into a career and stuff like that. And I was saying 1 term and done. Listen, I got some ambitions now. Like I said, when I was younger, I went to school for political science. I got teased. People said, what are you going to be, a mayor? And I was like, oh, man, that's right. That's weird. Like, I just like government. I liked history. I liked all that stuff with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a lot of heroes in the world. And I think too many people get named as heroes that shouldn't be heroes. Like me, I'm not. Cops, fire department, like stuff like that. But there's other heroes too, like our founding fathers. The stuff they did and went through. I mean, a lot of people don't even realize this. Like, we caused a Revolutionary War over taxes. And it wasn't like it was a big amount of taxes.
Yeah.
But we just didn't want to be taxed. Why the hell should we be taxed?
Without representation.
Yeah, and I mean, and we went to war with the king over it.
They fought for the exact same thing that's going on in Winchester right now with Lisa Friend.
Taxation without representation.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely. And here we are. And if our founding fathers came back now, like, I know a lot of people say if Jesus was to come back now, if he was to come back now, he'd be on the streets helping the homeless, the hungry, the poor. That's where he would be. If our founding fathers came back right now, they would be getting matches.
I think Jesus would be walking into city council meetings and flipping over
tables. I know whose table he would go to first. She, who I can't name.
The Winchester version.
Yes. But I mean, our founding fathers would probably come back and be like, you know what? I can't believe they fucked it up this bad. Like, we told them. They would start putting gas in matches and lighting it and burning it all down. They'd probably hop on a boat, start rowing back to England.
Right. Yeah, right. Like, England's not that bad. But yeah, right. England couldn't have messed it up this badly.
They're like, damn, taxation with representation, but you have to grab your ankles.
Yeah, right. So do you think that, I mean, I've heard you talk about this. Diane's asking a question. It's probably a serious question about grant money and looking for programs like that. I mean, Winchester just does nothing. Winchester literally has one elected official, well, two elected officials. I don't count Carrie, just because Carrie's job doesn't really ever change.
Yeah.
Harry's job is taking in the money, doing the stuff, taking the notes. It is what it is. And as long as you know numbers and stuff, you could do that job. But the people whose job it is to do the things like trying to get grants and bringing businesses in and making deals, that's Bob and the council. And Bob comes in and Bob works, you know,
it's not just
5
Bob
hours a day.
It's not just Bob and the council that does that stuff. Like since Deputy Brandon Barndollar got promoted as deputy chief, me and him have been going back and forth about grants. Grants has been a big issue for me. I mean, me and you've talked about with the the cross I can't remember
the community crossings grant.
Yes, how they didn't get that and stuff.
Which we need to be watching for that, because that will be coming back out for this round any minute.
And then Barndollar, he's acquired numerous grants on his own.
Yeah, he's
just as the deputy chief.
Yeah,
and like, and it kills me because I'm one of those ones. If it's a $50 grant that can help pay for the water that's in the lobby, like, get it. Get as many grants as you can. I don't care if it's 50, 100, 1,000, like whatever helps. Yeah. And why these guys aren't getting grants? I know why they're not getting grants.
Sure.
Same reason why these guys aren't on Facebook and stuff like that constantly. They don't know how.
Yeah.
Like, why? I heard they get they have their council email addresses and stuff up there, and people are like, man, they never reply to their council email address. It's because that's not what's connected to their phone. they have the grandkids set up the phone and they don't know what it's making, some kind of noise.
Yeah.
It says an open door violation. I'm in trouble.
Right.
Yeah, there's some good questions starred for you.
What?
There's some good questions starred for you, Chris.
Sometime in the fall of 2023. So yeah, I was just looking at the community crossings grant. It should be coming any time. Okay, so Joy says, what do you think of what producer Kate said about youth center with a local empty building? Would you and your wife have been pushing for, which you guys have been pushing for a long time? You know, I don't know. I guess that's maybe what, I don't know. I think maybe Kate and Lydia were talking about
the field house.
The field house, like using that. I don't know what the deal is with that in the school. I guess there's been some rumors. I'm not from Winchester anymore. Oh, that about reminded me, and I'll talk about that here in a second. So I don't know if the school's looking to get rid of it or whatever, but I mean, if that is the case, first of all, I think if that's the case, that's stupid. But second of all, even if it's school, it could still be utilized for more than it's being utilized for.
Well, right now I know it's being utilized for, I believe, volleyball, wrestling, and stuff like that. I don't know if they're still going to keep it for that or if they're planning. I honestly haven't heard much about it, but regardless, I'd love to see a community center. I'd love to see something where our kids could go hang out. And that was one thing that made me sad, is when that diner right there by the school closed down and the school bought it, and they said they were going to tear it down.
Yeah.
So I would have really loved to see like a cheap little dollar burger joint going in there.
They don't do that crap anymore.
Yeah, maybe ran by the kids, just some fountain pops and stuff like that, somewhere they can go sit down, do some homework, hang out, talk. I mean, something, but instead they just tore it down.
They're building a new field house by the school. Well, that might very well be, and if that's the case, then great and wonderful. But that building there, down by your house, there in the 4th district, needs to be utilized for something.
The word that I've heard is that they tore down all those houses over there and that little restaurant, and they're building a field house / administrative building.
Yeah.
Oh, I could see that.
Somebody told me there was a house over there that they're going to transform into that, but I'm not 100%.
Yeah, so it's going to be.
What would they be doing with the administrative building now, though?
Complex over there now.
Possibly moving City Hall over there.
Well, if they're getting rid of the old administrative building, that would make a really great community center too.
I've never been through it. I've only been in the lobby.
Yeah. Yeah. Talking about moving and talking about Lisa Friend, when I went when I moved out of Winchester, I went through a divorce and I moved over to an apartment for a while, lived there, and then moved back to Muncie. And I was still very passionate about what was going on in Winchester, and I was still coming to the meetings and attending the meetings. I was still very much involved with the fight. I was very much involved with a federal lawsuit. So I was still very concerned about what was going on. We were right in the middle of the JD versus Sean Byram race and all of that stuff. And I didn't want Sean to win. So we were doing all of this. And every time I would get up to speak, they would make a big deal about what my address was. They pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. Missy Friend, that's perfect.
One in the same.
I don't know what I was saying. They're just one combobulation of just crap. It's a crap ball. Missy Friend, that's hilarious. They hate each other. I don't know if people know that they hate each other.
Do they really?
Yes. Lisa hates Missy. Missy hates Lisa. It's great. It's wonderful. It's so weird. I like to see them fight each other to the death. Anyways, figuratively speaking here, folks.
Indiana is not a mutual combat state.
Missy Williams every time made a big deal. And every time I would say, you don't need to know what that is. I'm here to speak. And you'll just need to, if you don't want to hear me or you don't want to listen, then figure out a way to plug your ears, because here it comes anyways. She would openly say, you live in Muncie, or you've moved back to Muncie, or you don't live here anymore, right? And she said that multiple times. Other people on the council said that. And I thought back to that, right? I haven't thought about that in a very long time, until we were just sitting here talking about Lisa and thinking, I was a nobody. I was a citizen that lived there. I was just a person out in the audience. I was a member of media asking them questions, whatever. And they were concerned about where I lived and the fact that I may have moved 2 blocks north of where I used to live and 1 block east. They were concerned about that. When I moved from 318 south to 215 north, they were concerned about that. They were then concerned when I moved to Muncie.
You were taking plane rides and looking in people's backyards.
Yes. The whole point of that is, but they're not concerned with the fact that Lisa lives 1,700 miles away.
Well, she's not trying to address them.
Yeah, right.
Because they did. I don't know if you remember that one county council meeting I went to. They walked out on me.
Yeah. Yes. Right. Yes. And that was Missy. Yeah.
Because I wouldn't give my address.
Absolutely.
Or my name. Like, come on, you guys know who the hell I am. I seen the Spillman.
Do you think that bad worst case scenario, several of our council members win, worst case scenario with the mayor's situation, Niles doesn't win, Bob remains mayor. How do you think you being able to work with him, given the conflict that you guys have already had?
I mean, it shouldn't be hard, because for any job, city council is a job. It's a duty. It's a responsibility. But at the end of the day, it's a job. If we do the job how it's supposed to be done, there should be no hiccups. If we disagree, we can disagree. But Bob has no voice on the council. Bob is the mayor.
Yep.
And I will do my damnedest to get somebody else elected as the person who runs I can't remember what it's called, the person who runs the meeting. But Bob is that person right now. But it doesn't have to be. It could very easily be the president of the council. And I would push for that to happen. And if Bob has a problem, he can get up during citizens' concerns, because that's all it is. He's a citizen at that meeting.
Yeah. I mean, I've never understood why.
I mean,
it's so confusing for Winchester.
And if Bob disagrees, this is what a lot of these council members don't realize, is Bob can veto ordinances and shit.
Yeah.
And we need, I think it's a 4/5 vote or something like that to overturn Bob.
Majority.
Like, that's how government's supposed to work. If we say, hey, pass this ordinance, us council agree, and it gets to Bob and he disagrees with us, we don't need to argue back and forth. He just writes veto on it, sends it back to us. Then we have 4/5 vote on it again and overturn Bob and say, there you go. That's how America's supposed to run.
Yeah. Ching. Yeah. It's easy. It's really, really rather easy. I also feel like you're a lot like Audie in the fact that you can yell at somebody and be in a pissy mood, and 5 minutes later you can turn around and be like, okay, hey, what's up? And I feel like you can work with people, and then you can get crazy, and then it cools right down, and it is what it is. So
I mean, I used to play football. We'd go out on these fields and we'd want to take people's heads off.
Sure,
you know what I mean? That's what it was. It was a gladiator sport, and when you're out there and it's game time, you're hitting hard and you're ready to get hit hard. But after it's all over and said and done, I mean, we're both athletes on the same field. We shake hands and good luck on your schedule, and see you later.
Yeah. And that's how it should be in politics. So many people, I mean, politics is a battle to the death. A lot of times it's a bloody sport.
Shit's a blood sport, man. I didn't realize it, man. Like, I used to box, and man, I ain't conditioned for this stuff.
I'm telling you, she who shall not be named, the Muncie version, used to say that politics is not for the faint of heart, and that is very.
Then why is all these people with faint hearts in office?
I know. It's like, what? How did you survive? How did you get here?
Kidding.
Right? No, you're right. It's like, how did all of you people get here? Yeah. How did you manage it? What do you think about? And I don't know what the law would be on this. I would have to go back because Indiana is a Winchester is a third-class city, so I don't know what the laws are on this. But what would you think about if it's something that can happen under the law, working through the getting a police civilian merit board to deal with disciplinary issues with police?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, one of the best things about like our group, some of us will come up with ideas, and there might be some flaws in it because we don't know all the answers.
Sure.
So we might have just an idea. Hey, wouldn't that be cool if we did something like this? And then all our other people chime in, and it builds from just a little small idea into like something great, like the WAOC. You know what I mean? That was an idea, something we wanted, and more people came in, ideas. Everybody helped build that and put it together. Yeah. Same with the merit board. I mean, it would be awesome to have other people come in and handle that kind of stuff versus, I mean, who's responsible for it now?
Bob and the Board of Public Works.
Mm-hmm.
So
who selects the Board of Works?
Bob. So it's just Bob. It's just one big blob of Bob.
And I've been to a couple of the meetings. I really haven't heard them disagree, but I haven't heard them do anything like crazy either.
Right.
But they cancel those and move those, so it's hard to catch
it's really hard to know what's really going on there too. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. What do you think needs to happen in Winchester to help combat the drug problem? And as a council member, what would you do, or how would you work on trying to help that?
First things first, I would open my eyes and realize that it's an issue. I know it's already an issue, but these council members don't. They just pretend like it's not there. They think if they're driving down the street and see somebody sleeping on a bench and they turn their head the other way, that guy doesn't exist no more. They don't pay attention to recent arrests and see the amount of meth and stuff like that that's being used. They don't sit down and talk to the officers about officers dealing with the same people, the same issues, the same problems over and over. And if they did, they would want to do something. Like, I already sat there and talked to them. I talked to some citizens around here. They watch my video and come up to me and talk to me. And a lot of them tell me that they're struggling with their recovery. And they say, the only thing Winchester has to offer is like Suboxone. But Suboxone don't work for me. Suboxone don't work for everybody. Suboxone only works for like 12% of drug users. The big thing that works really well for drug users is methadone. But Winchester has no methadone here. There's no methadone clinic. They don't offer it anywhere. The only places that offer it is Muncie and Richmond. But there's no services. There's no buses that run out there or anything like that. And I even went as far as I was talking to Jim Nunez, and we were out there, and he was like, well, how would we do this? Like, what are your ideas, Josh, if you wanted to get them out to Muncie? I said, well, why don't you guys do a daily bus? Have the city pay for the bus, be here at 6 o'clock. The bus will pick you up, take you to Muncie, get your dose, and bring you back. It will help. It's not a solution. It's not the answer. It's not going to cure drug abuse and drug problems or anything like that. But if they can save one person from going home and using that day, then that's a win.
Well, you know, that's absolutely true. What Kate brought up, and that's a good point, is Winchester. I was talking to the mayor of Newcastle, and I warned him about not giving their opioid settlement money to Muncie, and there was also a councilman on. Unfortunately, the city of Winchester, I'm pretty sure, Kate, is that right? They did give. Do you know, Josh?
From last time it was asked, I know they were talking about doing it, but I don't think anything's decided yet.
Okay.
I know they were really swinging that idea of shooting it over to
for some reason,
Dirty Dan, and
there's some kind of weird relationship between Winchester and Muncie, and I, for the love of God, don't know what it is.
Well, listen, I'll tell you this. I was talking to an officer. I'm not going to talk about the officer's name. If he's watching, he probably knows. And he was all for this. He was all for us sending that money to Muncie and everybody else. Because if we could get this big facility and we can fork our little bit of change, because that's what he said. It was just a little chunk. Muncie got a big majority of it. We just got a little chunk that's not really going to do nothing. So if we all work together and get a facility out there and we get more than 1% of room on there, like if we split it evenly between Muncie, Newcastle, Winchester, and all the places that put in, and we split that evenly, that will help so much.
Tell that officer to call me.
And it bothered me because I like the idea of a facility. Don't get me wrong. I watched a show called The Political Spotlight, and I hear all that stupid shit that government's up there doing. Why the hell would I want to send my money, our money, up there? I'd rather that money stay here and go towards methadone clinics and other types of treatments. I mean, shit, we got the VOA there. Why couldn't we? I heard we were supposed to springboard off that. I heard that was like the start, and it was supposed to be all these great things coming along, and that's the whole reason why that went in there.
I remember that.
I came across a girl walking down the street the one day, and she said that she was staying at the VOA and asked me for a cigarette because they won't even let them have cigarettes over there. And like, I see what's going on, and I said, are you from around here? And she said, no. I said, how do they treat you there? She said, it's horrible.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? She goes, we're barely free. Like we're like free people. We're not under arrest. We're not charged. We're getting help. And she said that it's horrible. And I'm like, damn.
Yes. Listen to me, man. So number one, I'm dead serious about this. It's not a big facility. Where they are moving, where Dan's treatment crisis center is, it went from being a crisis center to a center in crisis. It's a bar. It's smaller than the A and B.
Oh, it's a termite infested bar.
It's now a termite infested bar. It's smaller than the inside of the Winchester City Council meeting room. And they're going to have beds and beds and beds. Nobody from Winchester, nobody from Newcastle will ever be there. I was talking to this person that means a whole lot to me, that's very, 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 very smart, that said something one day. And they said, this is a way for do-nothing dumbass politicians in these small little communities to be able to
say, look, I helped.
Look, I helped.
Yep.
When constituents come up and say, well, what are we doing about the drug epidemic? And they say, well, look, we gave our $50,000. We gave our $1 million to Muncie. Muncie's doing it. We just send the problem there. That's not help. And you're right about the VOA. That was supposed to be this major springboard, and it was going to be a thing. We're not helping anybody from our community. That was my biggest bitch about that place, was
because there's so many stipulations, isn't there?
We paid $2 million to help. Listen, in order, Joey, you had an issue. Imagine you wanted to go to the VOA, and you're out. You know why? You're a man. Okay, let's go through the conditions to be able to get into there. If you're a drug addict on opiates, on heroin, on fentanyl, on carfentanil, on pills, if you're a downer type of dude or girl, and you want to go there and you want to get help, automatically, if you're a man, they will not accept you. Okay, that's gone.
Okay, well, I'm a woman. Could I go, Kristopher?
Well, you're a woman. Do you? Let me ask you this: do you have at least one kid?
Yes.
Do you have 2 kids?
Yes.
Okay, you but that's all. You don't have any more than 2 kids, right?
No, I have 5.
Okay, well, you can't go there.
Oh.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Yeah, right. Yeah. You just need to get lost and you get treatment.
Well,
Okay.
shit, I'm gonna have to light up again.
Yeah, right. right.
Don't worry, the WOAC got the meal for you guys.
What if we don't count my older kids, because they're out of the house now? So I actually only have 2 now, kind of.
You have 2 kids. Well, that's fine. Are they under the age of 6?
No.
Okay, you can't go.
Damn it.
So you have to be pregnant.
That ain't happening.
Or be 1 or 2 kids under the age of 6 that is a woman that has not been arrested by the police, that has a CPS case. Now, you tell me what kind of drug addict has a CPS case but hasn't been arrested by the police, that has pregnant or 1 to 2 kids that's under the age of 6. This is helping like 0.01% of the population. It's not helping any. And then you got to not be somebody from Winchester or Randolph County was a big stipulation. Then they changed it. I don't know where we are with that, but we were pulling in people from Louisville. We're pulling in people from Ohio, and no one from here was getting help. So then what we were doing was we were creating, now what they're dealing with is it's a unicorn. Exactly, Joey. We were creating a situation where we were bringing in truckloads of women and creating a homeless population of women who are now getting victimized by the credence of Winchester, that are drug dealers and sexual predators, and making for just a horrible situation.
Sex trafficking.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Hey, now it makes sense why they wanted this thing in Winchester. It all just comes together.
They got tired of driving and going getting girls.
Ding, 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 ding. Holy crap. Holy crap. I just like literally that just came
now
to my
put
mind
that
right now.
I told you I've been digging in this for a while.
That is so crazy to me. I can't even believe the VOA is still a thing. That's the good old days. That's the Lynn and the Joan and Kate and Niles and me and all of us.
You're out of order.
Yeah. Fighting that crap.
That's the Matrix 1. This is the Matrix 2, bro.
Yes. Oh, God. Oh, man. Sproles was on to something. He thought those kids were going to the VOA, the Volunteers of America. Listen to me. I went down to Indianapolis when they kept saying, "Come on down anytime, come on down and just let us know when you're coming." I thought, I don't want to let you know when I'm coming. I just want to pop in like CPS. I just want to do a surprise visit. I pull up.
Like, are them dirty dishes?
Yeah, right. I took my mom to the airport one day, and I was like, you know what? I'm down here in Indianapolis. I think I'm going to stop by the VOA. I pull up, I get out, and the very first thing I see, Josh, now you come from the big city, and you've kind of been around some seedy people every now and then. I want to ask you if you know what this is. First thing I do is I find on the ground, there's all of these, you know, when you go into the gas station and you get those little Scantron lottery tickets where you fill in make your mark heavy and dark.
Mm-hmm.
I find thousands of these things laying all over the ground. You know what those are used for?
What?
People take those and they cut them into strips and they put their little point of heroin in it and fold it over and sell them. And that's what they pass them out because those things are free. You can go in and grab them and steal them. You don't got to go in and buy baggies or whatever, cut the corners out. You fold up the little things. And so they're all over the ground. I found a Suboxone strip on the outside, a Suboxone strip on the outside of the ground. I found a Suboxone wrapper. I found beer bottles. I found women's panties. I found men's underwear. There were people coming and going. It wasn't a methadone clinic. It looked worse than any methadone clinic I've ever seen. And this was the Volunteers of America. I was taking pictures. Snap, 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 snap. When I was there, a woman from Winchester was coming outside of the thing. And she ran, she's like, yay, you're Kristopher Bilbrey. You do that program. And I don't film her. I put the camera down and she's talking. And I was talking to her and her eyes were pin shot. She was high as a kite. And she literally had just walked out of the door. And I took that into the council meeting and they didn't want to see it. Lisa didn't care. Nobody cared.
And it's shitty because, why were you down in Indy and why were they not down in Indy?
Yeah, right.
Right.
One or two of them, they couldn't have just. I mean, I know they're only council members twice a month for 30 minutes, but.
Yes. Let me ask you that. That's something. If you're elected, would you push to keep the 2 meetings a month, or would you do 1 meeting a month?
I do. I wouldn't mind having 1 meeting a week. I mean, even if it's just for like Eric was saying, district meetings and stuff like that. I wouldn't mind.
Stumblefoot News. Yes. And while I still got the video, while I'm filming, she hits a freaking car. Bash! And scrapes all the downside of the car. And it starts honking, honk, 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 honk.
Just kept driving.
And she's like, hey, don't tell anybody that was me, and laughs and takes off. I swear to God, I've got it on video. Sorry, go ahead. Like Eric said.
So like Eric said with the district meetings, I wouldn't mind having a council meeting every week. I mean, you do your main 2, and then your other ones could be just discussing topics, ideas, have the count like a town hall. Why not? And if everybody can attend, it's not technically an official meeting, but make it official enough. You know what I mean? Where it's just nothing on the agenda but topics to talk about.
Right.
And then we discuss it then, and then we bring it to the agenda next meeting. I don't think it would hurt. And if people can't show up and certain members of the council don't make it or can't make it, it's fine.
Well, the thing is,
everything should be recorded.
The thing is, if you did, if it was always less, you could always do it to where it would be 2 council members.
Yeah.
You have 2 council members. You do counselors from District 1 and 4, districts 2 and 3,
or city council at large, District 1, city council at large, District 2.
Absolutely. And there would be nothing wrong with that.
I would also like to in the summertime make a motion to move the council meetings to the amphitheater in Goodrich Park.
See? Yeah.
Why not?
Sure. Right?
We'll have a band play before we do the pledge.
Oh God.
We'll have some hip sips down there, and there'll be some liquor over there, some wine over there at the park. You know?
Oh God. You know, the really sad thing about this is it just really doesn't have to be nearly as hard as what they're making it. It does not have to be as hard as what they're making it.
I was watching you. I forgot who it was that you talked about raises. Who'd you ask about raises? Was it Tom and Eric?
It was, yeah.
So I just watched the Union City meeting, I think from last week or last meeting they had, where they just voted on raises for themselves. And that just really, I mean, it really makes me mad because when do you deserve a raise from a job? It's when you're doing a good job.
It's when you're going above and beyond.
Yeah. And you're doing more than what's asked from you. You're going over the top. And how do you measure how a city council does a good job? Retention, a good budget, population growth, business growth. And if that's how you evaluate whether our councilors and our mayor are doing a good job, then Winchester's failing horribly. Our population is sinking. In the past 4 years, we probably went through 10 to 20 officers. We've went through this year 3 fire chiefs, or the start of this year, because I think it was like January 1st, Opie retired. Then Nathan came on and he was fighting to get pensions and stuff like that, proper pay for his firefighters. And then he left. We're on our 3rd fire chief now in 1 year, less than 1 year. We're on our 3rd fire chief.
You guys are trying to keep up with Muncie.
Yeah, like 2 police chiefs, 2 deputy chiefs.
Wow.
Probably about 10 to 20 police officers. Look at businesses, houses. Houses have went down. I mean, we're tearing them down, but they went down. Population growth is down. Like, our population has dropped so much. I was at one of the meetings where they had to change how they do the liquor license because we have fallen under the standard that we used to be under, because I think it was like at 4,500 you can now do this with liquor license. Well, we've dropped under that. We are now under that, so now we have to do it a different route. And I remember sitting there and hearing Meeks and all them passing this ordinance to start doing it this way now because the law requires it. Like, that's how you know right there that they're not doing a good job. Okay, they put in some sidewalks here and there. Good. That's their job.
Right.
Like, we are praising them for doing the bare minimum of their job. That's not doing good. Like, if you go to McDonald's and you say, hey, I need a cheeseburger with no pickles, and the guy gives you your burger and it has extra pickles on it, you're going to look at him and be like, well, at least I got my burger. At least he got the burger part right. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah.
At least there's meat on the sandwich and drive off. I mean, no, people get mad about that.
Yeah,
like,
right.
It's not doing their job. An above and beyond employees like, hey, wait a second. This guy said no pickles. You put pickles on this burger, make it over.
Yeah.
That's the guy who should be getting the raise.
Yeah, right.
We don't have that here in Winchester. Not on the council anyways.
That's that's really nuts. That's just, it's that way everywhere. I hate that it's that way everywhere. It's definitely that way in Winchester. It sucks. And the one thing is, it's just like nobody, finally there's people that's lined up. Like I said, when I ran in 2015, I was the only person. This is only the second election since I ran in 15 in the city, because there's every 4 years. So I ran in 15, then 19 was like, and then Niles ran in 19, but like he had no help. It was just Niles. And then, well, there were a couple of people. I think Karen ran in 19, and was there anybody else?
I think Joan, maybe it was that council, county council.
Yeah. So it was just in 19. It was just that. So that's that. But yeah, real quick, I'm going to get back to a couple more questions, but just because people did ask, and I don't want to leave everyone hanging without here's this.
All right. Hello.
I thought you were going to be like, "Oh, is this you recording?"
October 21st, 2017, and I needed to drop my mother off at the Indianapolis airport today, and so I thought I would take that time.
Come down here to the VOA.
Since the start of this was that I needed to tour this facility to see how wonderful it was, and
That's
to see
what their
how
words
great
were.
of a neighbor it was in the surrounding area that it was. Now, what I've said was, I don't need to have a fire at my house to determine that I don't want a fire at my house. So I've been hesitant to come down here because I know it's not the program. I'm not against the rehab. I'm against. I'm going to flip this camera around here real quick. So there are cars parked all the way down the street,
Which is one of the things.
show you
people
the
are talking about.
trash that's in the street here, and this trash can be anywhere. But something I've noticed here real quickly, and this is not but 100 feet from the door. Here's the beer can. Here's a little twisted off baggie.
What's this? What's that look like, Josh?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
Looks like right here.
and you touched it,
Yeah.
I don't know.
dummy.
Well, as a police officer, that to me, that could be anything. But
Sir,
in my
we just saw
mind,
you
it
in
looks like
possession.
something that maybe
Yeah.
contained drugs at one point, and maybe that's a stretch. Probably not. Here's a liquor bottle. Here's just all sorts of trash up and down the street. Let's look through here.
What's going on there?
Baggies all over the place. Just trash up and down the street. And that don't mean anything. I mean, there's trash up and down Meridian already, but here's a cup. There's a Bud Light.
I mean, it looks like this is like a party.
Here's another baggie that's twisted off. Kind of what we got going on here is this is the surrounding
Right,
area.
Here's this car.
There's a
There we go.
home. Yes, hello?
We can get up against that car there, but I don't see a pin on it.
Let me. Are you talking about this one right here? No, it's not mine. I don't see. I don't see anywhere where it looks like there's any damage. I don't really even see any damage on yours. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So while I'm doing the video, car just hit another car that's parked along the road here. There's just more trash up and down here parked. There's more. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's an energy drink or what. Just trash up in the yard. Here's the building.
Wonderful building.
Here's the street that we're at.
Oh, here.
Trash all in the yard. Here's 2 beer bottles thrown up into the yard. A shirt. All these.
Somebody was having a party.
So, this looks wonderful.
I go up, ring the door, and
What's
then
going on?
they won't let me in.
Beer bottle. Are help. I'm gonna go.
They told me that I needed.
Okay.
But that's really all I
Have you ever had any problems over here or anything with anybody?
No.
Too much trouble.
Talking to rando people out on the street.
of the see what we got going on. Okay. How you doing? You all right?
Here's the lady from Winchester.
To go in now and see what we got going on. All right? Yeah, hi, how you doing? You all right?
I live next door.
Oh, yeah. How's that going? Doing all right? Very good.
Just real crazy, man.
You gave her just a very good instead of a good.
Yeah, right. Very good.
I've noticed you haven't said that too much anymore.
You know, good. Everybody else I know says it. My grandmother says it to me every time she gets off the phone with me now. All the time. My mom says it. You guys broke me.
I do want to talk about what I was getting at with those raises because I got ADD and I just
forgot. Sorry, go back with that.
No, it wasn't you. I just stopped talking. Like I made my point, but I didn't. But with us going through all the things we're going through with the police and they're blaming we can't keep them because we can't pay them enough.
Mm-hmm.
If you do your job well enough, the city will start making money. The budget will start getting bigger. You can start hiring more competitive wages and the city will grow on its own. It could even get to the point where you grow it to a second-class city. I mean, all second-class and first-class cities didn't start off as first and second-class cities. You know, a lot of them started as townships, and that's where we're headed to right now. Is we're going to be heading towards a township if we don't get this back under control. But if you can get all that stuff rolling nicely, where instead of having 10 officers and 5 reserves and so many, or I think 9 firemen and paramedics, if you can get that growing to the point where you have 15 slots that you can fill and you can pay them, you're paying for everything, pavement, there's always extra money, extra things going on, then you can start talking about raises and doing that stuff. And I mean, 10, 20 years down the line of working at this.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Jews, for those that are religious and read the Bible. You know, they were wandering through Egypt and they were wandering through, and there were literally people that were born wandering through the desert and they died wandering through the desert.
Did their horse have a name?
I like that you threw that in there. The county seat, Alma, yes it is. And so the thing is some people, you need to be really upfront and frank with people. There might be some employees who are just coming in the middle of this. They weren't here at the beginning when it was really, really good back in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. They weren't here on the downfall, and they weren't here when it was really, really bad, but they might be here in the middle part where what they're going to do is they're doing this job and they're doing what they're doing to make the place better for the people that come after them. And they might do an entire time here. And that would be, it. And then with nothing really going on, but people, it's my belief that there are not people that's like, if you're working in Winchester, it's because you're from around there and you love the community and you want to be there. If you want to go and your dream was to grow up and be a cop and beat doors in and shoot people and have high-speed pursuits, you're probably, going to Muncie, going to Fort Wayne, going to Indianapolis, going to Chicago, going to New York, something like that. You're probably not going to be, Winchester's probably not your, end-all, be-all job. The people who live and work, the people who work in Winchester are the people who do so because it's really the calling and they love they grew up and they wanted to be a hometown cop in their community. Or they're from Lynn, and that's their version of the big city. They don't want to be a Lynn cop. They want to go to Winchester and be there, And those people are the people that, to me, being a cop was about being a cop. It wasn't about, how much, how much can I make and how less hours can I work like that. And so that's just, there are people on that department that will do what you're asking them to do. They just need to know what's going on, and you need to be. That's why you need to be able to talk with the people. I feel like the employees of Winchester don't have relationships with the elected officials.
They don't. They do a little bit, but not how it should.
Not the way it should be.
Yeah. And see, and I think it's sad because I've heard so much. I could say something, but if I do say something,
yes,
I could not have a job no more. And like, that's shitty. That's the shitty part there.
Yes.
But like I try to tell all of them, there's solutions to that. You can't be fired for retaliation. And I'm sick of hearing that this is just the way it is. Like, the whole reason why I came to Winchester, I didn't want to come to Winchester. I wasn't, spinning the globe and said, we're moving here, My wife, she lived here. Her parents were here. She came to Ohio. Her grandma got sick. She wanted to be closer to her family. So I up and we unrooted and came here. And one thing I said to my wife is, growing up, I moved a lot. I went to multiple different elementary schools. I went to, I think, 2 different junior highs, 3 different high schools.
Wow.
I moved a lot as a kid. And that was one thing I didn't want these guys to have to deal with. If we move, this is it. This is where we're sitting down. And we came here and I started growing roots. The kids, they loved it. The schools, their friends, everything else. Like, I had good neighbors and I was enjoying myself. I wasn't anticipating to come here and cause havoc and try to turn Winchester on its head. I mean, that wasn't my intent. I was happy just being a dad, working, providing for my family, me and my wife growing and buying a house and possibly, doing the dream, sending the kids off to college, sell the house, downsize, get something smaller, grow old, and kick each other while we're watching TV and asking each other for our teeth.
Your car just broke down in Winchester, in other words. Listen, Winchester really is a place where you don't really have to lock the doors. You know what I mean? You got good. I mean, you probably need to today. It's probably not the same. You probably should always lock your doors.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I don't let people get behind me.
Yeah, right.
I hear motorcycles come down the street. I make sure I get them in my vision.
I lay down on the ground and I roll.
My dog barks. Like 2 years ago, if my dog would bark, it'd be like, "Oh, that idiot! He's out
shut
there.
up, dog." Yeah.
Now it's like, "What the fuck is it?"
Yeah, what's out there?
Somebody out. Oh, they got my fence again.
Yes. Civic, my duty ass.
Yeah.
Kate wants to know, I mean, obviously not something that I love that Niles says, and I think probably one of the biggest reasons people are afraid of him, and one of the things that I think they are scared to death of something like this is the whole audit thing. Would you, obviously, I think I know where you are, but would you support doing an audit of the entire system?
Here's a fun fact. I'm still waiting on the credit card statements from 2022, 2021, 2020. Carrie got me, I think it was half of 2022. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, look, anybody who says they're against an audit, tell them not to balance their checkbook for 4 years,
right.
for 20 years,
and
see how well they're doing.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is. It's a full out balance of your checkbook. Like, you people out there, let me ask you this. You ever been sitting there before and if you're somebody who's like had to decide which bills they were going to pay, like you had to make sacrifices like most of us normal people had to, and you ever been so excited because you thought you just spent your last dollar? You're like, there it is. Everything's paid. It's just going to have to ramen noodle it up for a day or two till that next check hits and I'm good. And then all of a sudden, they're just magically $10 in there.
Yeah.
What did this come
from?
That's
right.
awesome,
Lottery.
Or you think there's $10 in there and you got to spin it, and the bank's like,
yeah.
Sorry, buddy.
Right.
No gas for you today.
Yeah.
Like, if you do that and you don't balance your checkbook? How do you know where you're really at? How you can do any type of finances, not knowing what your bottom line is and your baseline, your true balance actually is, and see where you are, see what you're owed, collect it, get it. If you're over, like, fix it. Like, how can we even know what the problem is if that's not the first thing we do when we come in there to see if we're up, under, what it is? And an audit, in my opinion, I know that's one thing that I want to say 100% of us candidates that are running all want. We are in favor. Like, we're kind of committing open door violation if we were elected, because we're all like, oh, audit, 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 audit. Yep, absolutely. We all stand behind it. So that council meeting, that first one where we sit down, I don't want anybody accusing us of open. That's the first thing we're doing.
Right.
It's going to be a short and sweet meeting. We are going to have an audit. Once this audit's conducted, we will know where we stand to go forward. It would be dumb to come in office blindfolded, not knowing what booby traps are around the corner.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I think it just makes sense. Absolutely. And I know the answer to this, but everybody's really keen on this. Obviously, the Meeks is the mayor's attorney, and you've got no say in what the mayor does. But you wouldn't want him as a council attorney.
I would propose to the the city council that we would need to have an attorney who doesn't handle deeds and wills and all that nonsense. We would want somebody who's on state laws,
municipal government.
Yeah, completely. Civil rights, even at that too. Maybe a minor in that, Yeah,
a minor in that. Yeah,
you know how good it will feel if I'm like sitting there thinking at the council, they can't fucking do this, and that attorney's over there like, hey, you can't fucking do this. Like, well, he said it, not me.
My flip side of that question is, would you propose the idea of having the council have its own attorney?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because that's the attorney that should be in there talking and doing, and
not the mayors.
Yeah.
It doesn't even make sense why
doing the ordinances and telling you guys what to do, because there are times and people are like, act like they don't know what I'm talking about. All you got to do is look at the city of Muncie. Dan Ridenauer hasn't attended a Muncie council meeting in 8 months. He's not attended a council meeting since the last time Lisa was on the council.
Let me ask you a question. How much do we pay Baker Tilly? Do you know offhand? Kate, if Bilbrey don't know how much a year we pay Baker Tilly.
I don't remember, Josh.
I think it's like 150 something, right?
I want to say
a couple $100,000.
$1,000.
Yeah. So
what did you say, Kate?
I think it's 180.
I think that sounds about right.
I was going to say 200, but okay.
So
what it was, but I'm not sure.
I found out with Baker Tilly that Baker Tilly's hand is in a lot of city government. Now, first time I heard Baker Tilly, I sat there and listened to the guy. He came in and he was making it seem like our council members were these geniuses, that everything they were doing was so great. And if you look at the scale, if in 3 years you're going to be in green, you're going to be this, you're going to be that, you guys are such good here's gold stars for each of you council members. Like, that's how he was presenting it. And I was like, that's weird, because the budget, they're appropriating funds, like they're having to move stuff. Like, this guy's making it seem like there's no problems. And then I see this guy at a Union City meeting.
Yeah.
Because Union City uses Baker Tilly too. They pay the same price. And he's up there, same exact shit. Almost like, I swear it's the same paper. He was just like, Winchester, cross that out, Union City. You guys are doing such a great job. Everything, the green, here's your stickers. And I was like, that was really weird. That was almost the same identical speech. And then I'm talking to Craig, and he's like, yeah, we got these guys, Baker Tilly, down here in Clinton. And I was like, oh, yeah, Baker Tilly. Let me guess. You guys are doing great. Here's your gold stars. And he's like, yeah, how'd you know? So that's interesting. I wonder how many honeypots Baker Tilly has got their hands in.
Because no, dude. Muncie, Delaware County.
Are they in those
Anderson,
two?
Yes. Anderson,
So
Madison
Baker-
County, Newcastle.
Picture
Henry-
this. Baker Tilly is involved with at least 100. We'll say being nice, 100 cities, counties, municipalities.
Yes.
At $150,000 a pop, $180,000 a pop. Do the math on that. You know what I mean? These guys are making bank from saying, this is what you're spending your money on? Good job. Good job. Good job. Pay me.
Yeah.
Like, they provide nothing else. Our council should have the ability themselves to sit down and manage their books, forecast, predict, plan. Like, I don't understand why these jobs are getting delegated out expensively. Like, you guys talked about the Main Street and all that stuff. Like, they are delegating their responsibilities out, and it's costing the taxpayers more. Not only are you now paying that council person who's responsible to do all this stuff, but now he's using tax monies to pay these other places to do their job.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts to me. So how could the city pay for their own attorney? Well, fuck, let's cancel Baker Tilly right there. You pay $50,000 a year for an attorney to sit at a couple meetings. You know what I mean? 50, 75,000. Then you got 75,000 back in the general fund.
Yeah. Government contractors. We're a top 10 advisory tax and assurance. Baker Tilly helps government contractors nationwide address complex regulatory compliance, audit, and other government oversight burdens.
And I've recorded those meetings. You can go back and watch the guy from Baker Tilly. I mean, KISS TV has Union Cities. You could watch them side by side and compare what he says. Like, I'm sure their rep goes all over and does that shit. And what do? They advise. They advise. Like, that's nuts to me. Hey, guess what? It's been 20 years since you replaced your sidewalks. I think it would be some good advice if you put a little bit of that money in the budget towards your sidewalks. Why do you got to pay somebody $150,000 to tell you that?
Right.
And they're nationwide like that. I mean, we're in the wrong business. We're sitting here talking about a government and ridiculing them. We should be advising these motherfuckers.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I'll do it for 60,000.
Right? I'm down. Like, shit.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been doing it for free.
Yeah.
They're mad at us because we've been trying to advise them for this whole time. And they're like, clicks and views. He's getting paid $40 on YouTube. Clicks and views.
Clicks and views.
Like,
Clicks and views.
You're paying them guys 150, 180,000.
Yeah, right.
Like, just, it blows my mind. But that Baker Tilly, that would be like second or third on my agenda to have that skedaddled.
That's not necessarily a bad idea, dude. These people are everywhere, man. Everywhere.
That's what made me start looking into it. As soon as Craig said Down in Clinton by Terre Haute, I was like, I thought it was just like a Randolph County scheme.
Oh, yeah, no. How many different programs is Winchester offering their citizens at the present time? When you say program, Stumblefoot, what are you talking, bro? Like, people in need? Well, yeah, what are you talking about?
All the programs, like, for that all have stipulation. Like, we talk about the VOA, they have stipulations. Like, it's so far and few that can use it.
Journey Home.
Yeah, the Journey Home, they only take male veterans. And see, that's another thing. The VOA and the Journey Home piss me off. I don't know. I'm going to have to look into the law and bust their balls on this shit. But my wife worked with the girl who was living at the VOA. She was trying to get her shit back together and get on their program and graduate. Well, she got the job at Walmart. She was there for a week, 1 week, 7 days. Now, you know, they hold your paycheck. You get paid every 2 weeks. So she still had like 3 weeks before she got her actual first check. Well, she completed the VOA program. She graduated. Now, you know what you get when you graduate from the VOA?
Boot out the door.
7 days to get your shit and get your kids and get the fuck out.
Yep.
Don't care if you got someplace to go.
Yep.
Don't care. 7 days. Now, me personally, if they're there and they're in that program and that's their residence, I think they might have an argument. You're going to have to evict me, bitch.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, you need to have somebody at least 30 days to try to get out, 30 to 45 days to get out on their own and get there. I mean, because you're coming.
Understand, that's why they don't want to take women with kids over school age, so they don't have kids in school there, so they don't have to help kids in school there.
Yeah.
But that's why it's so regulated on who can be there and how they do that.
And it just makes me mad because you're sitting there trying to help these people, and the second you give them a little bit of fresh air, a little bit of head above the water, you fucking dunk them right back under.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy. Okay, here, you know, you're not on drugs, you don't want to use no more, and you know, you're good and you're ready to go. You just started a job. Good luck. Like, it kills me.
Yeah.
And then the journey home, if you have any I mean, some of these people that are at the journey home have PTSD, have medical issues, other problems. These are veterans that fought for our freedoms, served our country, and are in need. And they go to the journey home, and one little argument, and you don't live there no more. You have to go. You get kicked out. That's nuts to me.
Right.
Am I getting tired, or what's going on there?
What the hell's that? What just happened there?
I thought my eyelids were falling.
No, go. Sorry about that. That thing was falling down. That was weird. Go ahead.
But we had that elderly man at the Mardi Gras come up to our booth and everything, and he was lost. He thought he was in Mobile, Alabama, but he said he got in an argument with the lady at the journey home, and they politely, his words, politely asked him to leave because he didn't live here no more.
Oh,
and
dude.
Like the man was, I want to say like 70s, 80s, and he had dementia. We had to contact his family, and his family was like, he lives and resides at the journey home. What's he doing at Mardi Gras? And we're like, they kicked him out. And they're like, what? They didn't call us, his family that helped him get in there. Like, he has dementia, and they kicked him out in the beginning of October. And they just booted him out.
Oh, man.
I mean, that had me very, very angry. But then, you know, I sit there and debate back and forth because I know there's people at the journey home that I've talked to that are like, you know, I support you and what you're doing. And then it's like, well, here I'm going to go. I'm going to talk crap about this situation. So this person might not vote for me now. They might not support me. But you know what? That's the beautiful thing about being me. I don't care if it hurts their feelings, if it makes them mad. The truth is the truth. You shouldn't kick 80-year-old men who are veterans and serve this country out in the streets over an argument. You should have programs and shit, set up counselors and all types of stuff that can handle those situations. I mean, this man looked like he weighed about $120 and was walking with a cane and could barely walk. What was he going to do to your workers?
If you can't handle an argument and you're supposed to be working with veterans that have mental health issues,
you're in the
wrong business, Eldon Solomon.
I mean, that's the kind of stuff that bothers me, seeing that. And then they're like, we're trying to help homeless vets. No, it looks like you're trying to make vets homeless. Now, there are vets there that are getting helped, and I went in there, me and Joan went in there, and we were talking to them, and it seems like a nice setup as long as you completely play by the rules. But some of these guys, they're just not in the right mental state to fully play by the rules every day. And if they have one off day, then they have nowhere to live.
That's disgusting, man. Well, let me tell you right now. That's one thing that I hope that you'll talk with Niles about, that you'll talk to the rest of the council members about. And if you guys are able to make change there, in Winchester, when you guys win, I would hope that the journey homes free ride with the city of Winchester is over.
See, I already have a stipulation in mind that I've been thinking of for a while. Because, like, I go through all this stuff. See, a lot of people think, oh, this guy's just there trying to get in their face and yelling and all this stuff. No, I sit down and I watch these videos. I hear what they say, and I take notes. I review it. I think logically and okay, here's the problem. How could this problem be fixed? And I come up with solutions. It's just you don't really see the solutions in the video because they don't give you a chance to present a solution. They just try to shut you down with the complaining. And I go over this in my solution because I see posts all the time where, you know, Eldon or Journey Homes are like, hey, our cupboards are empty. They're bare. We have no food. Can people come and, you know, help fill up our cupboards? Well, we run the WAOC and all of us do that. And that's all out of our own pocket right now where we help feed the community. And we're getting together and we're starting to make our bylaws. And one stipulation I want to be in our bylaws, regardless of who's running it 10 years from now, 100 years from now, if it still exists, is that we are a pure nonprofit. And a lot of people say, well, what's the difference? Nonprofit, pure nonprofit. Pure nonprofit means everybody there that's a part of that organization is 100% a volunteer. Nobody ever gets paid. Blow your mind, the Journey Home is not a pure nonprofit.
Yeah.
The guy who cares and runs that, Eldon, what's his last name? Yeah. How much does he make? 88,000
or more.
Yeah, 88,000 plus a year. And so one of my stipulations, if he ever comes to the city and asks us for any type of funding, he will not get a penny and he will not get my vote unless he has already taken 18,000 out of his income and plugged it back into the Journey Home itself.
Yeah.
Because that makes me sick to see him making $88,000 to run a nonprofit. Any nonprofit just makes me sick. Shelly King at Paul's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, Kate, come up here for a second. How much was it? So I just over what we used to say, out of $1.
Out of $1, if you're going to donate to
Mm-hmm.
an organization, Salvation Army's the way to go.
Yeah.
How much percentage?
Out of $1, how much is the Journey Home spending on their guys?
Was
it 25 cents?
I think it was 21 cents out of
21 cents out of every dollar.
And for what they claim that they are, what do they claim that they are, Joshua? What are they?
Nonprofit.
No. What do they do? What is their?
Oh, they help homeless vets.
They're a homeless shelter, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you know what they don't have any expenditures on?
Yeah, this blows me away.
They don't have any expenditures for food. No expenditures for clothing. No expenditures for bed linen.
Like toiletries.
Or toiletries. Or cleaning supplies.
You know what that
is donated to them.
All donated. They ask people from the community or people from other places.
They get the veterans onto their VA benefits if they're eligible, or they get them onto food stamps. And then the veterans have to do providing for themselves from the get-go once they get that started. I will never give another thing to the Journey. And if you know anyone in this community who supports veterans, it's me.
Oh, yeah.
I will kill for a veteran. I will do anything in my power to help a veteran. I will never give them another dime after I looked at their taxes.
Oh, yeah.
They take in $600,000 and we had 280 that went out in salaries and benefits.
It's crazy.
He went around to all these communities and he got enough donations to pay himself.
Yeah.
See, like, here's my question. What's the difference between a job and a volunteer thing?
Well,
besides the pay.
Besides the pay?
Usually you volunteer because you enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You only go to work. Usually 9 times out of 10, you hate your fucking job and you only go to pay the damn bills.
Yeah, right.
You know, so when they make these nonprofits jobs, are we really getting people in there who actually care?
Yeah.
Chris is on your case, Joshua.
We need to get a tax ID so we can at least open the bank account. I have turned down two donations today alone. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We got to get the bylaws. I'm sorry. After November 7th, I swear shit's going to get a little bit easier, hopefully. But
yeah,
it's easy to get a tax ID, isn't it?
Yeah, we just got to get all the stuff.
Okay.
We just had our first
You have
meeting.
to file with the state first,
Yeah.
with the Secretary of State, and I think it's $20 to file a nonprofit. And
Okay.
you have to get your tax ID number next. That's free. You can have it within a day. You do it online. And then you file your nonprofit paperwork.
Okay.
And you can do that online, and you will be able to do a short form. So I believe the fee on it is $250.
Okay.
And
Okay.
once you have filed that paperwork, you can start accepting donations.
Okay, so
I
you
had some-
cannot accept donations.
I had some
before.
guy try to give me $80 at the courthouse.
Yeah.
He's like, I was holding the sign on free meals at the
And
BC
you know, if
Clubhouse.
you need help with any of it, I'm here. With
Oh,
any
yeah.
paperwork.
See,
I will help.
I think we just had the first meeting where we got our officers all together and everything like that. So we got the start of it. But then we're like, next meeting, we'll do it at the next meal. And everyone's like, well, the next meal is election day. So it's like,
so
oh,
Yeah.
crap.
Yeah.
So election day is going to be fun.
Yeah.
election day is going to be the
A
day
pain in the ass.
crawling into the floorboards and trying not to vomit.
As long as I don't get arrested on election day, it's a win.
Literally getting like information faxed to me right now as we speak. It's been coming out, like just coming out, dropping in the floor. I'm
going away again.
Yeah, all right, you're good. So, well, Joshua, we've been on here for 2 hours now. You about ready to wrap her up?
Oh yeah, I can't believe it's been 2 hours.
I know. It doesn't feel like it feels like it's been 15 minutes. Tell everybody why they should vote for you. Tell everybody who you are, why this matters to you, and why it should matter to the people of Winchester. I mean, I feel like everybody should know this, and everybody should know, but like sell it, send it home.
Personally, I want to bring jobs back to Winchester. Jobs are key, in my opinion. They make the city grow. They make them go around. Jobs come, housings, everything else falls in there. And it's so tiring seeing stuff the way it's been. They have just been barely getting by, barely scraping by, just doing the bare minimum. And I think we deserve so much more than that. Not just with me, but with Niles, with Coy, with Tom, with Eric, with Lydia, with Joan, with Karen. Like, these people we have in office now, they can't be bothered. And I mean, Tom's retiring. Jim looks like he should have retired a long time ago. John Boyd got some medical issues that he should be putting on the front page. I mean, Lisa Dunn moved. Bear, these guys are doing this for a title and not for the right reasons. Let's get some people in there who are going to give you 110%, and they want to see the city do good. And not only do they want to see the city do good, they're willing to make it happen. That's the big thing. This ain't just talk. Everything we can do on day one, as soon as we hit the ground running. And within 6 months, Winchester will be on a path to be better than you guys even thought it could be. Now, I know a lot of places and businesses that already support these guys because you guys are getting a lot of the pay, the cut, the deals. Here's the deal, man. Competition is not going to hurt you. It's just going to make you more money at the end. The more businesses we have, yeah, it's competition at the beginning, but the more businesses we have, the more citizens we start getting, the more money that's coming in. Right now, you guys are fighting over a small portion of the pie and getting handed out some more stuff. But if we grow our city and we have more citizens coming in, that's more business. Your business doubles. Instead of having 60 customers a day, you have 120. We keep growing, you have 180. And you're splitting that between other people, but you guys are all thriving. If you're doing good, that business is doing good, the city's doing good. That's what it's about. Like, I know you guys are getting these deals, and I know it's hard to walk away from all the cut corners they give their friends. But I'm telling you, even if you're in the Beautiful People Club, this is going to make you more money too at the end, because once our city's doing good, we're all doing good. Instead of just sucking it dry, why not try to help it stand back up and get back on its own legs? That way it don't die, because the second it dies, it's over. Then what do you guys work for? You're going to be 4th, 5th generation in a new town. You're going to be the new people because Winchester is just nothing anymore. Your only time you're going to come to Winchester is to visit your grandparents because that's all who lives here.
Wow, that was big. Yeah, that was good.
Sorry.
Suck it dry till it dies. That's like their motto now.
That's what I told Danielle. Like, she was making fun of you. I think you were on the phone when I said "suck it, Dad."
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, it's instead of an energy vampire, we literally have a what would it be called? Because it's not energy. I mean, population vampire.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Growth vampire that's just sucking all the growth out of us.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. Well, very good, Josh. I appreciate it. Joan wants to know where the election day party is going to be.
Shit, wherever. We could have a party up at the clerk's office, outside the clerk's office.
Oh, that's going to make me sick to my stomach. Now, so you know what happens soon as the polls close, within 20, 30 minutes of that happening, you can go up to the clerk's office to get the printout.
Yeah, I was there for the primary. Me and Scott Schaefer were there.
Okay. So,
win or lose, I promise you this much: it ain't stopping.
Yeah, right.
It ain't stopping.
That's what I told Audie. Winning, it's like we do it their way. Losing, we do it my way.
I'm still going to be win or lose. I will be at every meeting still. I've only missed, since I've been doing this, I've only missed one meeting. And that was the meeting we thought I'd get arrested if I went to.
Yeah, right. I found out they lied to you about that.
So every politician that's running for office, win or lose, hope you know I will be there still at every fucking meeting. So if you're tired of it, it's not ending November, so you might as well withdraw now. I can get you what is that, Kate? The CFA withdrawal form 48 or whatever.
Yeah.
I've already gave them all a copy. If you were smart, you held on to that copy. Fill that bitch out now. Get it submitted before November 7th, and you're good.
So early voting is currently underway.
Yep.
The people will be able to vote early all this upcoming week, which is the 30th through the 3rd from 8 to 4, and then on the weekend on Saturday you'll be able to vote, and then on Monday you're able to vote until noon, and then Tuesday the polls are open until from 6 until 6. And I always tell people, like, if you need a ride, listen, it's important for people to know this, wherever you're voting. If you need a ride, call somebody. If you need a ride in Winchester, contact me. I'll call one of these people, and one of these people will get you to the polls. If you need a ride in Muncie, call me, and I'll get somebody to get you a ride to the polls. If you need a ride in Anderson, call me. I will get someone to get you to the polls. In Newcastle, I will get someone to get you to the polls. Call me. I can make that happen. And call me in Indianapolis. I'll find somebody down there that can get you a ride to the polls.
And it's so important because I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that say, oh, voting's rigged and all that. And in these small elections, every vote counts. Every single vote counts. If you're like, hey, it doesn't matter, or hey, my guy's got it, still go out and vote. Even if it's not for us, even if it's for them, even if you support them, still go vote. Make this the biggest voter turnout. I really hope that these guys keep treating us like the underdog, because I grew up on underdog stories, you don't ever count the underdog out.
Yeah.
And I hope that we have the highest voter turnout Winchester has ever seen. I hope we break a record. That alone, win or lose, will be a win for me. That means whether the people agreed with me or disagree with me, people were listening.
Yeah. That I'm telling you, it's gonna be really strange. I'm pumped up. I've been kind of let down for it, for everything everywhere, but I'm just now getting pumped up for it. So I feel like
how many uncontested do you got in Muncie?
How many uncontested seats?
Mm-hmm.
One. Just the judge. Everyone else is contested.
Good.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's gonna be a good election year.
It's gonna be crazy. Anderson's pretty jam-packed. Newcastle's got some things I'm watching. I'm telling you, if you vote for Clay Morgan in Newcastle, you're voting for another John Sproles, folks. So I'm telling you, I told you in October of last year, don't be doing it. Don't be doing it.
Me personally, Nicole, I don't believe in parties. I think parties are the vein of the problem in the whole political scene altogether. I'm so sick of parties. They don't mean shit anymore.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it doesn't even mean it doesn't even mean what it means at the at the state or national level, honestly.
I mean, I hear people tell me, "Oh, you got Republican views." No, I have my views. If the Republican Party aligns with me, then good for them. If I'm more libertarian, good for them. Like I am who I am. I believe what I believe, and forget the parties.
Yeah, right.
Sorry,
right.
Kate. I know you're the chair, and I will help you build a libertarian because out of all the parties, you guys are the closest party I think I can honestly relate to with your views. But it's not about the parties.
Yeah.
And I understand why it is for you guys because I know there's a lot you guys got to do with I mean, I am a libertarian. I am a registered libertarian. But there's a lot we got to do with that party to make the impact and show its strength still. And it's still
This is one of the biggest things for I would say the Randolph County. We gotta figure this out. I think you guys need to talk to Evan because I think that Randolph County probably has the most libertarians running, than any place else. Like they may need to make a big deal about that.
And see,
Niles was featured on Donald Rainwater's page on yesterday.
Really?
Super exciting. And they also contacted Coy.
Yeah.
I don't know if they've contacted Tom, Lydia, or Eric. So that's really exciting. And I know the Libertarian Party is really, really rooting for all of our candidates here. And
they need to send some people down to help on election day or something.
We're Podunk, Indiana. But we have more than quadrupled our membership in 2 years.
Yeah.
We've actually sextupled. Is that a proper term? I don't know. We are 6 times bigger than we were two years ago. So we're doing good things here, and we're still tiny, but we're growing. And we've had a lot of people that are talking to us that are libertarian minded.
Tell
like
people,
Joshua, they don't believe in parties, and I am fine with that.
Well, so if you guys remember,
and like the idea of liberty,
now
support.
Now remember when we were all starting to come together and talking about running, we had a couple things in place. If I ran for a Democrat, if I ran as a Democrat, if something like this happened, we could have somebody else step in and run.
Yes.
Like all this stuff was strategic. Everybody that's where they are, how they are. We sat down and planned it.
Yeah.
So it's about running smart.
Yeah. If something happened where I got removed or something like that, it opened it up where Coy could have plugged in as a libertarian and ran there or something like that. That way the seat wasn't lost and we could have kept everything challenged.
Yeah. So, it's about running smart because the other sides, the evil run smart. So there's no reason why we shouldn't.
I wouldn't say they run smart. They run kind of stupid and blind, but.
Well, but here's the thing though. And this is the beauty of being a libertarian. I am a card-carrying libertarian. I pay my dues. I have my cute little card, which I'm jealous because Joshua got the damn porcupine and I didn't. Anyway, but as far as the state's concerned, I'm a Republican.
Yeah.
So I have options.
Yeah.
You know, so, I mean.
Rainwater's campaign is not until next year. He's currently campaigning
Yeah.
But his race doesn't really kick off until November 8th.
I just was so cool because my husband's little post about my husband was on the top, and it was right below Donald Rainwater for Indiana. And it was
I gotta find.
yes.
Yeah, that's cool. I gotta find. We're gonna have that out. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was really, really nice to be contacted by them. So
yeah, that's cool.
Rainwater's trying to support the local candidates across the state.
Yeah.
Which is really impressive. And as I said, we've talked to a lot of people here in Randolph County who may call themselves Republican, but they are liberty minded and they are not going in and looking at the letter next to people's name. And that's what really the point of this is to get people past the party idea. If you want to call yourself something, fine. And I will call myself a libertarian. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go in and automatically blindly pick an L.
Next year, end little qualified immunity. End qualified immunity next year. Yeah.
Next year.
Yeah. Next year is going to be a wild year.
Good to run against him.
Yeah. Yeah.
On all the tickets that can be running against him. We need someone good.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of all the libertarians that are running over here in Randolph County, and all the libertarians who are helping, and all the libertarians who are maybe not running as a libertarian, but are supporting the candidates and doing what they can. So it's been really fantastic. And it's been nice to see the people coming together with like-minded ideas on local government, across party lines, because on local level, the party doesn't matter. It's about common sense and doing what's right for our citizens.
Yeah.
So I really appreciated hearing from all of the candidates across party lines, because they all are saying the same things. Common sense, help our citizens, grow our city. And it's beautiful. And that's what libertarianism is.
That's not what the incumbents have been saying, and the city.
They haven't been on here talking.
Yeah.
We've been doing good. Give us another chance.
Talking. So.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know.
Well, Josh, thank you for popping on. What?
Remember, Bob said he can retire today.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's help him. Let's help him with that.
Let's just do that. No, we're doing good things here. I'm paying all my friends underneath the table.
Let's help him retire.
Absolutely.
Let's help Bob retire.
November 7th, tell all these words that I'm being nice right now, they're fired.
Yeah,
That's how we do it.
Yes. All right, Josh. Thank you very much, buddy.
See ya.
And that was Mr. Joshua Kimbrell, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching. We are going to get ready to kill it here for the postscript. I do just want to show you guys a couple things here just momentarily before we roll out of here. I want to show you last night's great adventure in pictures. Here is the adventure in pictures from last night. Okay. I want you guys to take a look at this. This is a picture that Audie took in a 3-round burst, meaning pop, pop, pop. So he took a picture on his phone, on his iPhone. All right. Picture 1. And look about right here. Look about right here. Picture 2. Okay. This thing appeared. All right. Look, I'm going to go back to picture 1. Picture 2. Now look in this area on picture 3. Right here. Ooh, a dust particle. Womp, 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 womp. Womp, 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 womp. Okay, now look at this. Ooh! Ooh, scary. Ooh, there's a blurry version. Ooh, this guy is in a jail cell inside of a room with an old microphone that he forgot to get out of his car last night. And I need to go out there and get it tonight after I kill the video feed. Okay, and here's another one. Showing his teeth. Ooh, spooky. Ooh, what's this? I don't know what this is. It's Audie holding his breath. That's Bob.
That's Bob in the freezer in the meat room.
Bob in the freezer in the meat room. Or is it Audie?
No, it's Bob.
There's Bob in the meat room freezer. With
Not that Bob, just Bob. That's just what I named it.
Yeah, not Bob McCoy.
It's not that Bob.
Oops, there's that idiot. Hold on, that's not what we wanted to see. Let me take this down here real quick and show you. Hold on here. We weren't quite done.
Did you have fun though?
I did. Oh yeah, I did.
It was fun.
I did. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun.
Did they
just
make
walking
you
around
a believer?
No.
But still fun.
Yeah. I just had fun walking around. Just walking around that place, and how just crazy how long it is. Okay, here we go.
The red light.
Okay, just
Yep.
get it out of here. You can't scare me that much. You're gonna have to do one red light behind me.
Yeah, I can use that.
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
There's a little piece of dust. Damn it! Hold on. I know what keeps making me do that. Hold on. I know why I keep doing that. That's a long hallway. I want to get up here and show you this one. Really, just this one picture is what I'm shooting for. Hold on. Find it. So that's a pretty good picture of the hallway. Hey, is this a security camera? Do you guys have security cameras on the floors?
We do have some security cameras on the floors, but they're at the ends of the hallways, looking down the hallways.
Okay.
What you're looking at there is when they ran the conduit for the fire alarms and for the electric in the building, because it wasn't electrified until the early 1920s.
Okay.
So they had to run conduit. So that's just a fire alarm.
What's this?
That's Charlie. He's left over from last year's Halloween.
And now people who stay, if we didn't end up staying the night.
Okay.
We left. But there were a large grouping of people. I was amazed. I figured some people would have left like we did. There was still a large people that was staying the night. I was amazed. Mm-hmm. If someone would have wanted to stay in this bed, could they have?
Yeah.
Okay, that's crazy to me.
Yeah, there's various rooms throughout the building that have beds set up in them. You can sleep wherever you want to. I wouldn't recommend on a gurney necessarily, but there's a couple of gurneys in there.
I did specifically because this, to me, does not look like it. This is not like a hospital gurney. This looks like a body gurney.
Yes.
Is what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
From either the hospital, the morgue, and this blue sheet looks like a sheet it's not a body sheet, but it's the sheet that they put to cover the body bag is exactly what that looked like to me.
And that's probably exactly what it is.
Past training experience. I don't know why I took this. I like this thing.
No, the covers on all the vents are absolutely beautiful.
Are really cool. Someone told me I was taking pictures like a boomer. Here's a bedpan.
Yes, we have quite a nice collection of bedpans. Also a nice collection of antique wheelchairs. Did you get some of those?
Yes.
It's a beautiful building with some really fantastic history.
Yeah.
We had a Jeep club come through today. and had 40 people we were doing tours for. So that was fun.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now here, this is really cool.
You've done that before.
Anybody at the back wanting a photo op?
Who's that screaming
That's Melissa.
like a banshee?
That's Melissa.
I think it was you.
No, I was gone by this point in time.
No, this is the tour.
Oh, this is during the tour? Oh, that would be me.
Anybody at the back wanting a photo
Yeah,
op?
that's you.
That's my fat mouth. Yeah.
I can recognize your voice. There's this. Okay, we're getting to my. Okay, these are the pictures I like. I like this. This is look
With
at
the
these
Edison
pictures.
bulbs.
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
yeah. There's one coming up here that's my favorite. This one's a really good one. I like this one. Is really, really good. This one's darkened version. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know what's going on there. Here comes the good one.
I was just yelling for people if they wanted a photo op. I do the tours with the lights off.
Oh, this. I like this. What's this red light?
I have no idea.
Because this was not in there. I liked it. I don't know what that red light is, but I liked it.
No idea what that would be.
Do you know what area of the building this is?
So this would be the women's first floor
Okay.
residential hallway.
And you know what really amazes me is how fast you move around this damn building.
Me?
Yeah. It's nuts to me how fast you move around this building with the lights off. You just moving you in. Oh no, they didn't. They didn't follow me home because before I left, I said, "Okay, you guys all stay here." And
That's always a good idea to do,
yeah. So,
just to be on the safe side.
but
Well, I mean, the building is pretty easy to navigate. We try to keep the hallways clear, so you're not likely to be running into anything.
oh
So,
man,
I mean, I've been there since July of 2019. I've been doing tours out there.
yeah.
So
Was
it's,
was the owner there last night?
yes.
I thought that's who that was.
He's very, very tall, scraggly looking guy. And there's another one who's not as scraggly looking, but looks
His
like
twin?
Dan. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's Dan and Richard, and they're the owners of the building.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
They were there.
they come
So did
out
they
and
stay
help.
overnight?
I think so. They
That's
stay
all I know.
overnight and they help out. I mean, they're very hands-on. Most of the repair work that's done on any of the buildings, they personally either oversee it or do it.
Yeah.
They're both HVAC trained, and Richard is also an electrician. So they do the electrical work in all the buildings. And they've taught themselves a lot of the things that for renovating and rehabbing historic buildings, how to do it. So, I mean, they're very hands-on. They're out there all the time, working on one property or another. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
So that's what 90% of the money goes back into the buildings.
Yeah, that's really cool. So for anyone,
Scare house.
for
There
anyone,
was a movie filmed there, The Bones and All.
Bones and
was
All.
The most recent one that was
yeah,
the cannibalistic love story that I refused to go watch.
Yes,
at the
yes.
movie theater.
yeah, right. For anyone that didn't get a chance last night to see, we went on late from here. Here's Audie and Darla and I
In the jail cell.
in the jail cell.
Hey, that's good. You're good.
How you guys doing?
I want to show you this.
Hey, it's going really good.
That's actually pretty crazy.
Now, this thing down here, this thing is an EV2 box.
A
and
K2 meter.
A what?
A K2 meter.
K2 meter. I was just going to call it whatever I want to. It's K2 meter. So it picks up energy, like if I laid my phone next to it,
It would register it.
It would register whatnot. And basically, when there are no energy next to it, it lights up green. But when there's energy next to it, it lights up green, yellow, orange, and red. And that thing, there was nothing close enough to this, and it should not have been going off, but it went off the whole time.
We're gonna make a believer out of you.
That Audie was freaked out. He was like, yes.
You should have been having the record. You should have been using the sound recorder on someone's phone.
Green.
Yeah, we did that a couple
most
times.
of the night.
Did you get anything?
And every now
a couple things that was hilarious. We went back down in here with a person in here, and a lady had it on her phone, and I was talking. I said, if anyone is in there, make the meter go to red. And the thing on her phone said, well, this is working, like in a really snarky. It was like call and respond. So I said, if there's anybody in here, say make the K2 meter go to red. And as soon as I said red, the thing said, well, this is working. And it was just like really kind of like smart ass comments. But
the jail cell, we get a lot of cuss words.
It would light up.
Yes.
Here's Mrs.
It didn't like
Farmer.
that Audie was. It didn't like the Audie was near the toilet.
There is Audie.
It's weird.
We're in the jail cell.
So the jail cell is in there because there were some troublemakers there during World War II. They brought the jail cell in because the cops didn't have enough manpower to go out there during the war to help. So there's an actual jail cell in there.
And the story that I really liked that I did not know, I had never heard this, that there was a county judge that didn't have any family, Randolph County judge that didn't have any family, wasn't married, didn't have any kids or whatever. And at the end of his time, on the bench and towards the end of his life, his plan with the commissioners was he could move out there and foot his bill to live out there, and he lived in a room out there. And that then, because he was a judge out there during World War II, when they didn't have a lot of time for the police to go out there and things, if they had problems with people out there, if someone beat somebody up or somebody stole something for somebody, or they had a couple times where there were, unfortunately, a couple sexual assaults, that they would actually like take people to that jail cell, lock them in there, and then they would go upstairs in the attic, and they made a makeshift
bench
and jury bench and box and whatever. And they would go up there and they would convene a jury, and he would sit in judgment of these people and judge them to like time in the cell or whatever. And it's funny because we all up there during like earlier evenings, during earlier hours, said makeshift. We said that like makeshift jury box, makeshift whatever. And when we were up there, that box said makeshift. And I was like, that's what creeped me out. It said that once, and I was like, oh, no, that's weird, because that's a weird word to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it said that, and I was like, nah, that is weird that it did that. But this is
the history of the place is really, really cool.
Yeah, it's really, really cool.
So even if you're not into the ghosty stuff, it is a
cool
cool place to visit.
Yeah. It's just us walking around, and the biggest thing was there were probably, all told, I told the people watching, everyone was like, is it just you three in the building? And I was like, yes. And then towards the end, you see Lydia walking down the hallway, and so everyone's freaked out. But there were like 40 of us here. There were 40 or 45 people in the building, and so that was the scariest thing. You might be 2 or 3 people might be in one area, and then you're going to be spooked because someone else is completely in the dark coming up on you, and it's like, you know, so we were scaring each other just because there were so many people in the building.
Just us three.
But
It
yeah,
was a place for
yeah.
the poor and downtrodden. It was the county poor farm.
Yeah.
So it's not a madhouse. It was for people who were handicapped in some way or too poor to be able to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
It's a neat place. I'm glad you went out. I'm glad you had fun.
Yeah, we really had a good time. Audie and Darla had a good time.
I'll let you come up here without a light.
I do enjoy running through the place with my take off my shoes so you can't hear me coming.
Yeah, right.
Scaring the shit out of people.
Oh yeah.
In the dark.
There is one place. It's got one of the bigger doors going in. Like if in the basement, we would be in the kitchen, but where the kitchen is, if you're on the first floor or the second floor, what's that room?
Above community rooms.
What?
So those are day rooms.
Okay.
So each floor had like a space where you could go and relax and read or watch TV or something. Those are day rooms.
So the funniest thing in the world that happened last night was these doors that close to the day rooms are great big wide doors. They're like 3 or 4 times the size of a regular door. Audie pushed the door, and these are great big doors. And so Audie pushed the door, and visually we saw the door close, but the bottom of it drug. And so like 5 seconds after he pushed it, we were walking, and the thing caught, and it goes on the floor, and it scared the living shit out of Darla. She jumped up and grabbed on to both Audie and I, like got right in between us, and it was like, what was that? And I could not stop laughing because I knew what it was. I seen Audie do it, and I knew exactly what it was. But it was perfect because it looked like the door was shut, but it was just because that's what I said. They need to go through and they need to cut about an inch off the bottom of each of those doors because those doors catch and scares the shit out of everybody. It's hilarious.
Well, the thing is that they do catch.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing when you're ghost hunting, especially that one down in the workshop. That one drags terribly.
Yes.
But you'll go down and that door will open and shut on it. And there's like nobody around. Like I'll be the only one in the building and I'll go down and like turn off the fan or something in the kitchen. And when I go past, it's open. And then when I'm going back the other way to head back upstairs, it'll be shut. And I know the wind's not going to blow it because
they're too heavy doors
so badly.
Yeah.
So weird things happen in there. It's an old building. Weird things happen. So whether you're into the ghosts or not, it's a fun place to explore.
Yeah, it was definitely the history.
My phone was getting ready to die.
Look at this. This is the last thing I want to show you people. This is upstairs in the attic. Watch this. Look at this. They put up these lights. Now what these are is they put these lights up and we're looking out into open space. And these purple lights that are on the floor, that's on the floor probably about 25 feet in front of me. And these green lights are on the wall, projected on the wall. And so the theory is if a shadow or something walks between where the light's coming, you would see the light disappear. And if something crosses these blue lights, it makes them turn orange or red. Well, this one is orange for some reason. And I didn't know that originally, but watch here as I walk over. I walk up there and then they tell me, those lights were just going crazy. Something walked over there. So I got my ass back.
Huh. What a weird political podcast. Host hunting. Didn't have time to waste.
That boy scares everything.
For the last couple.
I just like these lights. I would like to have these lights and turn them off in the turn them on in my house and let it be shining everywhere. It's great. What are these lights? Do you know?
Just a laser grid.
One of these lights change colors.
That's what they call it. Just a laser grid.
Okay.
Huh. Weird political podcast.
I've seen even people take up like strings of Christmas lights to get the same effect.
Yeah. So that was that. Kate, tell people how much it costs to take a tour.
It's $25 a person to take a tour if you're over the age of 16, and if you're got people under the age of 16, it's $15. But tours take about an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Oh yeah, it was.
We're going to go through the whole building and over 150 years of history.
Yeah. And there's a test at the end.
Yes.
So.
I'm surprised. Melissa usually does have everybody do a test at the end, and whoever can answer a question gets a free T-shirt. Oh, she did? Oh,
and
good.
they ended up giving out 3 free ones.
Oh, good.
And said there was 2 people that tied, and then they did a tiebreaker, but they didn't tell the people that the tiebreaker was for the two only. So someone else yelled it out, so they gave him it, and then they ended up giving the 2. So they ended up giving out a lot of free stuff, but it was really cool. They did a really good job. One of the best things, and I did not get a picture, and if you're ever there again, how am I saying? When you're there, what I meant to say is if you think about this.
Next time I go there.
Next time you go there, walking in the door where you walk in where there's the desk, and you walk in the first parlor room.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you walk into the second parlor room, and they have that old TV.
The old
if you could snap me a picture of the old TV, I would love it. I meant to do that, and I just forgot to do it.
I was absolutely take you a picture of the 1950s tube television.
Oh, dude, it was amazing. I would love to have that. That was it's absolutely amazing. But just the stuff in there is really, really cool. So
my boss has done a really good job of trying to find different antiques and artifacts from various eras that the place would have been open to try to make it more homey. So there's a couple of like FDR style wheelchairs in there, which is fabulous. And there's one from the early, I think it's the 1890s, actually, the wicker one that's in there that has 3 wheels.
Yeah, right.
So those bedpans from various eras, television and furniture from various eras. I mean, they've done a good job to make it homey and comfortable and feel like, I think it would have felt like when there were people that were residents there.
Ish. Yeah. The biggest thing, tell the people when the last person was there. What year was the last person there?
2006.
2006. So that's the thing that blows my mind. People was finding out about September 11th there.
Yes.
So how many people would have been there in like the early 2000s?
Well, from about 1994 to 2006, they were planning to close it. It was being run as a nursing home at that time, and they were trying to close it. So as residents left, they didn't bring in new people. Okay. So from the early 90s, they were running around 24, 25 people. So by the early 2000s, they're down to like 10 as people died or were moved to other facilities. So the last gentleman he left in 2006, and he left, he didn't die. He was transferred to a facility up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And our historian Ted learned about Mr. Shires and learned that he was quite the checkers aficionado, kick anybody's ass playing checkers. So Ted took a checkerboard up there.
Yeah.
And left it in Mr. Shires' room, thinking that he'd play checkers with Mr. Shires' spirit. So he'd go in every time he'd go in to give a tour, he'd go in the room and he'd make a move on the checkerboard and he'd wait. Well, after a year of playing checkers with himself, he did some calling around and learned that Mr. Shires had been moved to a facility in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And as of January 2020, I believe it was, Mr. Shire
He was still alive. The guy was still alive. The guy's trying to play checkers with a live guy.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I love telling that story because Ted is very rarely wrong about anything concerning the history of these, but it's just fantastic. So it's a neat place. But 2006, that was the last resident left.
That is absolutely amazing. So did the staff there through the 90s and the early 2000s live there, or did they just come in and work a shift?
So they did still have somebody that lived on site. But for the most part, it wasn't run by the county at that point. It was run by a private company.
Oh.
And so they just had staff that came in primarily. Yes, he could play checkers now if Ted would drive his ass up to Fort Wayne.
Yeah, right.
Play checkers with it.
Yeah. So, do you know how many staff people that they would require?
I don't know how many staff that they would have had in there.
It blows my mind, like how many people would have been there, like in 91. You know, I'm just thinking about like where they would have lived. You know, and if like, you know, the one, you know, you've got 7 people in the building and they're all spread among those rooms, you know, it just blows my mind, I guess. It just really blows my mind.
There was a newspaper article from the early 1990s. I think that's when Mrs. Moss was living out there. Mrs. Moss, is that the right name? Mrs. Monk?
Are you talking to me? I don't know.
She ran the girls' home here in town. Mrs. Monk.
Okay.
She moved out to the asylum when she retired because she said she wanted to take away some of the stigma that was attached to the place.
Yeah.
So she moved out there, and there's an early 90s newspaper article. It shows Mrs. Monk with her walker going up and down those stairs to go eat.
Really?
Because the dining rooms were in the basement. Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Absolutely remarkable.
Yeah. Well, very good. I appreciate it. We've been on here forever. I thank you. The history of it was awesome. I thank you very much. I don't know what this is. This is interesting. Bricks and Bricks Studio. Josh is my dad. Josh Kimbrell. Josh Kimbrell is your dad? He's my dad too. I don't know. That's really strange. Yeah, see you.
Have a good night.
Yeah, see it. I thank you, and we'll have to let him know that Bricks and Brick Studios stopped by to say hi to Josh. I don't know who that is, but I mean, I know who Josh is, but I don't know who Bricks and Brick Studio is. You'll have to tune in. Take care. We're at the very end of the show. Good night. God bless. We will be here tomorrow for a regular show, no interviews, thank God. We'll have just some regular political talk. And then keep in mind, folks, Tuesday night, Halloween night, it'll be myself and the Scream Queen, Mary Nicholson, will be joining us for a Halloween-themed show and the Dark Dan interview, Tuesday, October 31st, 2023. Never fear, be here. Be here, be square. I don't know. All right, good night. Have a great day. Have a great start to your week tomorrow. God bless each and every one of you. We will see you here then. Good night.
Thank you.